listening to the Pillaging Podcast, companion podcast to PillagingJustForFun.com. That's PJ4F.com, the only Raider fan site made by Raider fans for Raider fans. Tune in every week on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher Radio. Call in and give your takes anytime at 408-909-PJFF. Brought to you by Creative Media Design Services. Check them out at CreativeMediaMonterey.com. It's time to pillage another podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Stapler. What's happening, Jay?
We're back, man.
We are back.
We're back. We're back for real this time.
Yeah.
Live and in effect.
In the flesh.
In the flesh.
Yeah, sorry about that, Raider Nation. We did take a week off. I had family matters to tend to, and family is a priority.
Family comes first, man.
Nothing bad. Everything's good. Everyone's healthy over here. But just got to spend time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We need everybody needs that from time to time.
Yeah. So we're here. We're
Can't
back.
be all business all the time, man.
No.
Yeah.
But the good thing is we've had a lot of moves play out through the week, even up until today.
Yep.
So now we get to recap kind of everything for you.
A lot of catch up.
Yeah. A lot of catch up to do. So it's a big show. We got Stephen Michaels on in this first segment, so we'll get to that after we finish the intro here. And we've actually looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Stephen Michaels comes in hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's bringing the heat.
Big energy. So stay tuned for that. A couple announcements. We have an app.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're official.
Imagine that.
We're official.
So all of you iPhone users out there can go out and download the Pillaging app. That's the name of it. You can search the Pillaging app on the iTunes store. On the Apple App Store.
Yes.
As the podcast is on iTunes.
Yes.
And for those Android users out there, just wait for it. It's coming out shortly. The Google process is a little bit longer. We got rejected because I had some links in there they did not like. They did not like the YouTube link in the show description. I don't know why. But it's all been fixed. It's just going through the process right now. We're just waiting on that. Should be about a week, maybe 2 weeks before that hits. And, hey, I feel your pain because I'm an Android user myself. I have an app. I can't even use my own damn app. So
I can use the app.
Yeah.
I got that iPhone.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, get it. Definitely all the episodes are on there. You got a link to our website. You can view the website, comment on the website right there in the app. We do definitely encourage you to come join our comment section.
Yes.
Anything goes in the comment section. We talk about whatever, but Raiders always going to get you some love.
It's free for all Royal Rumble up in there.
That is a good description of our comment section. It is very active, thousands of comments every day. So if you're looking for a spot to kick it, you like Twitter, maybe you don't like Twitter, either way, come share, come hang out, get to know the folks. We do get together at games. It is a community, not just a comment section. I'm in there. Everybody's in there. Che, you're not in there. We need to get you up in there. But I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. You have a life that you don't want to give up, and
I can't give up. There's
Yeah.
a life that I can't give up.
That's one thing.
But I got to figure out a little space in
Yeah.
that life to fit in.
Come on, man. We know you don't.
blogging.
We know you
Some
don't.
blogging.
You don't work that hard at work. Come on, man. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. So yeah, go make sure you download the Pillaging app. It is free. It will always be free. It is ad free. There's a link right there to our call-in line. You can call in straight from the app. You can follow our Twitter straight from the app, our Facebook link straight from the app. Everything self-contained
Oh yeah,
right in the app.
there you go.
As we move forward into the future, probably not too soon, but we will have some exclusive content on the app as well, possibly exclusive interviews or supplemental shows that will only be available through the app.
Ooh.
So we haven't teased that out yet, but we will. We will. And of course, I know you guys are waiting on the video streaming. That is coming soon. All the tech is there now. We got the camera we need. We got the lighting setup we need. And most importantly now, I got screaming fast internet connection.
Oh yeah.
So we're going to be bringing that to you soon. So a lot of stuff coming forward for the Pillaging Podcast. We appreciate you guys listening. And if you're just now joining us, welcome to the show.
Everybody's welcome.
Are you ready to get started?
Let's do this.
The Raiders signed a slew of players during free agencies without really making a splash. In the Olympics, that earns you high marks.
Yeah.
In the NFL, not so much.
Yeah.
No splash, Olympics good, NFL bad. But what if I told you that teams that make splash free agency signings generally don't benefit from them?
Yeah.
And the stats are there. If you don't believe me, go look it up. But spending a ton of money on free agents, not always the way to go. I know this seems lackluster. It seems disappointing, but you really got to just wait for it to all play out.
Yep.
And if you don't believe me, go back and look at the history of big name free agency signings in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you might be like, I think Kenny's onto something.
People don't want to go back down memory lane with that one right there, man.
They don't.
No. There's a lot of anger that comes with that.
I don't want to, trigger.
You're
you
triggering
guys
people right now.
right now. Phones are
people are
flying out the
triggered
window.
right now.
Tonight. So first big signing was your boy Jordy Nelson.
Yeah.
I, for one, did not see this coming at all.
Me neither.
I don't want to say I have sources. I don't have sources, but I got my ear to the ground. A lot of stuff goes down in the DMs. Not one single person mentioned Jordy Nelson. So I was very shocked. But I personally like the signing. I think it's sad, like many Raider fans, sad to see Crabtree go for as much as that guy did for us, to see him walk away. And again, I think if Gruden had a chance to sit down and talk to him, it might have gone differently, but the rules now prohibit him from doing so. And I think just to clear the air, rumors maybe killed that situation. I have no idea. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to get into that. We're not in the game of speculating on here,
right.
Especially speculating about somebody's personal business. But Crabtree is out. He's moved on. He's a Baltimore Raven now. Apparently that was his lifelong dream. In an early interview, he said his lifelong dream was to be a Dallas Cowboy. So, I don't know anybody whose lifelong dream was to play for the Baltimore Ravens, but
you know what? It's your lifelong dream to continue to have a job to play football professionally
in the NFL.
So wherever it is that you go, that's your lifelong dream.
So best of luck, Crabs. We will see you next year.
Yes, we will.
That'll be interesting.
That will be interesting.
Now, what it looked good was the possibility of Crabtree matching up against Richard Sherman in Santa Clara next season. That would have been pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's going to be Conley versus Crabtree, presumably.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Raiders signed Rashawn Melvin.
Yes.
Great signing.
Yes.
Considering what the market was on corners for the price that we got Melvin for, this was a tremendous bargain right here.
Yep.
This is a guy that's been an underdog. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's had some injury history in the past. Not continued, but he had an injury that sat him out for the bulk of one season, for a good chunk of a season, I should say. Not the majority of. But we got this guy on the cheap. It's a short-term deal. I think it's a one-year deal. But I'm going to go back to Crabtree. When we signed Crabtree, it was a one-year deal. That deal got extended mid-season. So I think if Melvin shows a production, that's likely going to happen again.
Yep. I have to agree. Yep.
And these are the kind of moves you make when you have very little cap room to play with. That cap will likely balloon next season. We're going to have a lot more room underneath it. We still have younger players that are going to get more extensions. Mac this year. We'll see if they exercise the fifth year option on him. They've said that they're going to extend him. There's an offer there. So I would imagine that's going to get done. It's probably just waiting for free agency to kind of wrap up. But the offer is already there on the table. So, but again, that's going to happen again next year.
Right.
Cooper's going to be coming back around again. We're going to have to, extend him. And so, but there will be more cap room next season. And I'd just be glad you did not pay $14 million for Tremaine Johnson.
Yeah.
Because where would we be right now?
Not where we are. Not with no cap money, that's for sure.
You'd have Johnson, who's definitely not a world beater, good corner. But what if I told you that Melvin is not as good, but he's up there, man? I think you're going to get similar production out of him.
It's about value.
Yeah.
Right? It's about value.
Yeah.
You don't want to overpay for the talent, right? If you can get some decent talent and pay under what everybody else is getting, then you can't be mad at that, man. We got to pay other people.
Yeah.
We got to pay other people.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
forget that.
Yes, sir. And we're going to go into these signings in more detail in the second half of the show. We got the interview coming up here in the first segment, so we want to keep it light. These are quick hits.
Yes.
Tahir Whitehead.
Yes.
This is maybe my favorite signing.
Mine
Okay.
too, man. Mine too.
Right?
Yes.
It addresses a couple needs. Whitehead can play both outside and middle linebacker. Deals out there again on the table for Navarro Bowman. Whether he signs it or not, we don't know. He says he's going to test the market. He's got no visits planned right now. I'm not sure what he's waiting on. I think he's really going to go out there looking for leverage that he's not going to find. Bowman's at the tail end of his career, plagued by injuries, not so fast. He was the worst cover linebacker in the NFL last season. He's basically a two-down thumper right now. My guess is Reggie offered him a very safe, conservative, but realistic contract. And maybe Bowman thinks that out of his name, he can get a little bit more. Maybe he can somewhere else. else. But I also know that relocation is a big sticking point for Bowman. I don't think he wants to uproot his family. So my best guess is he's looking to see what washes out in L.A. and if he could become a member of the middle of that defense. And I know L.A. is probably focused on Suh right now, but if they were to get Suh and they have Donald and they were to add Bowman, now that's a trifecta in the middle.
Yeah.
So he might be holding out for that. And he could definitely go play for L.A. and not relocate his family. L.A.'s not that far away.
This is true. It's a quick plane ride, man.
Pretty much.
Yep.
So that's maybe one of the factors that's playing out there. I think LA is the X factor in this. And again, this is speculation. These aren't, I don't have any inside track on this. It's just kind of what I think. It just seems logical to me. But right now, I would expect Bowman to come back to the silver and black.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, man, if you're a person that's on the last leg of your career, right? You're on the final leg of your career. It's just not smart to just take the very first offer, right? You want to like set yourself up for the end of your career and your future plans not being in the NFL. So
right.
Yeah.
There it is. Keith Smith. Now, this was a bit of a finesse to me because we get Keith Smith from Dallas, right? And then we let Olawale go. We trade Olawale to Dallas.
We trade him back to Dallas, yeah.
And we end up moving up in the draft.
Yeah.
Didn't have a 5th round pick.
Nope.
Now we have 2 5th round picks.
Now we got 2.
So what's up now?
Yeah.
Now, I was sad to see Olawale go. I wrote a piece earlier in the year talking about how he's going to benefit from Gruden's offense.
Right.
But now we got Keith Smith, a guy I also like. A little bit more physical than Olawale. A little more bulky than Olawale. I would venture to say he's a better pass blocker than Olawale.
Yep.
Not as fast as Olawale, but he's versatile. John Gruden values versatility. And the other thing John Gruden likes, and he told you as much, I believe he said it at the Combine, he likes his fullbacks to play on special teams as well. Well, guess what? Keith Smith. Very good.
Special teams.
Very good.
Considered an elite special teams player.
So it's a 2-for-1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I ain't mad at it, man. Like you said, I was sad to see Olawale go because I think he's very talented. Yeah. I think he hasn't been used to his full potential. But it's clear that Gruden has his scheme in mind and he has certain players to fit that scheme. Yeah. And I can't be mad at it.
And we've talked about this on prior shows ad nauseum. Gruden's been eyeballing a lot of people for a long time, from coaching staffs all the way down to the players. So you just have faith that he's picking the guys that he wants for a reason, not just the guys we can get.
Right.
These guys have been targeted. They're on a list, right? Somewhere. His back pocket, his computer. I don't know where he keeps it. Maybe his phone. I have no idea.
He's got he still got a whatchamacallit?
A BlackBerry?
A BlackBerry. He's got that little rotor, the little ball in there.
But there is a list. I promise you that. Marcus Gilchrist.
Gilchrist?
I like Gilchrist. I think that sounds pretty heavy.
It's kind of religious.
Right? It's got some weight to it. Cristo. Likely starter alongside Joseph. Again, we're going to break this down further in the second half of the show. Not the most exciting signing to me. This reminds me oddly of Nate Allen. How about that?
Yeah, I think excitement-wise, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about right.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Hopefully we get a little bit more play out of him than we did Ellen.
Yeah, and this might be a little bit disappointing for those of you that are fans of Obi, and who knows, maybe he's not the starter. We still got a whole camp to go through and all that. So at the very least, it's competition there.
And Obi's still young, man. We still need a veteran there to school him up. Even if Obi becomes a starter, he still needs a vet there.
Right.
And Carl Joseph isn't a vet. He's still young too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so it could be very multiple in that secondary. It could be a lot of different packages and schemes and stuff. But, you got to trust this move again. This could be a Gunther fit. Gilchrist. So, Gilchrist. Cristobal. He's coming in. And what if I told you Obi was the nickelback? That'd be wild, right? That'd be crazy. And again, he could be he could be that money backer in the nickel. We don't know what the plans are for Obi right now. We saw one move last year was really oddball, bad move, putting him out there against Cooks on the corner. That's not going to happen.
No.
So
don't do that.
But again, I don't know. This move is a bit confounding to me. Gilchrist, the kind of money they paid him is not second string money. So I would be shocked to see him not starting. But again, it's also, you don't take a guy in the second round to not be a starter, but that was a whole different regime. So we'll see what happens.
True.
Breno Giacomini.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
I guess. Sounds about right.
Dude was a turnstile last year for Houston, but he's a Tom Cable guy. He did well in Seattle. That was a long time ago. I think Brano is, I think he's like 32 years old. So again, this could
He's
be
up there. He's in it. What did it say? I think he was in his 9th season, something like that.
Yeah,
around there.
he's
9th
up
season,
there.
somewhere around there. But he's a big dude.
He's a big guy.
He's a big dude. He's plus 350 or something like that. You know?
So you got a lot of big bodies now competing for that tackle position. You got David Sharp, who we've talked about. You got Jalen Ware. Dude's 6'7", and I think he ran like a 5'1" or something, or I don't know. He's quick for that size. He's just sort of a freak, but he's extremely raw. You know what I mean? A combine warrior, big dude, kind of an Al Davis type signing, right? Definitely a Reggie McKenzie signing. He likes his big players. So you got a lot of big bodies there competing for that tackle position. I'm hoping Giacomini's just depth. If he's our starter, I'm asking what the hell are we doing, because seemingly a downgrade from Newhouse, and Newhouse wasn't all that spectacular.
This is true.
Let's keep it real.
Yeah,
We
not
keep
spectacular at all.
Yeah. Not at all.
We can keep it real with that.
We keep it 100 on this bitch. So, yeah. Probably the first sour face signing of the offseason was Doug Martin. I don't know a whole lot of Raider fans excited about this signing.
Yeah.
It's a head scratcher.
But we can go ahead and say that this is a connection to Gruden, the Tampa Bay connection. Mm-hmm. So maybe he sees something left in there.
I don't know. Was he on the team when Gruden was there in 08?
I want to say he was maybe a rookie.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. See. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm way off.
I mean, I know Josh Johnson was there.
Maybe I'm way off.
Gruden drafted Josh Johnson, quarterback we also signed. He's not a part of the Quick Hit segment. I'm not even going to mention that guy.
You just did, though.
I just did, though. But
in the Doug Martin segment.
The muscle hamster's back. He's struggled with injuries. Let's be honest. Tampa Bay's offensive line is doo-doo. He had 2 Pro Bowls early on in his career. That was a long time ago. Mm-hmm. I don't think that this guy is really going to be as featured as much as you're worried about. But he's in there. But we'll see what shakes out. You got Doug Martin, you got Marshawn Lynch, you got Jalen Richard, you got DeAndre Washington, you got a fullback Keith Smith, and you still got Elijah Hood hanging around somewhere.
Yeah.
We're not going into the season with all of these guys. So something's got to give. Someone's getting traded. Someone's getting cut.
Someone's going to go.
Likely Doug Martin doesn't make it.
It's true.
Let's move on from these names and let's talk a little bit about Rod Woodson. So Rod Woodson was running his damn mouth.
It's coming hot.
Let me say this about Rod Woodson. You came to the Raiders when you were 37 years old, and you balled the F out.
Hell yeah.
You came just after Gruden left, and you were a big part of getting us to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And I thoroughly enjoyed everything you did for the Raiders organization at that point. But you know what? It ended at that point.
It ended as a player.
It ended as a player.
It did.
He's had, 2 stints as a secondary coach in Oakland. Mm-hmm. Neither time did it pan out. You can blame it on the personnel. You can blame it on the coaching scheme because, these position coaches, they don't scheme, right?
Right.
But beyond all that, wipe all that away. Can you tell me one Raiders safety that has looked well prepared in the last 10 years?
Charles Woodson.
Okay. Do you think that he was really...
I cheated there. You see what I did?
Hey, Rod, help me out here because I'm really just lost.
No.
That wasn't happening. So, I don't know, man. I mean, I put it out there on Twitter today. I was asking if maybe Rod went too far and or if actually went too far putting Rod in his place is actually what I was asking. And everyone said, nope, nobody went too far.
Yeah.
F Rod Woodson and everything he stands for. Somebody even said out there, a young lady that tweeted out, Rod Woodson may have entered the category of once a Raider, maybe not always a Raider. That's a brand new category. Well, actually, you know what? We can throw Sapp in that category.
Yeah,
we could throw Randy Moss in that category.
You could definitely throw Randy Moss in that category because I don't know if you saw that video of him saying, "I'm not a Raider" to Raider fans.
That's true.
Extra butthurt because the Raider fans were on him.
Yeah.
But Randy Moss can go in there. Warren Sapp could go up in there. Richard Seymour could take his ass and put it in there too. I'm gonna go ahead and be reserved about Rod Woodson being in there. I think he's a Raider. I think he's a little hurt. He might be a little butthurt right now. Mm-hmm. and this is just a little bit of that. You guys let me go. You guys fired me, so I'm a little angry about it because you got to remember it. Rod Woodson was a Raider fan as a kid.
It's true.
He was a Raider fan.
That's
okay?
true.
He got drafted. He went to Pittsburgh. He did all that thing. Was in Baltimore. And then he ended up with the Raiders at the end of his career. And it was his lifelong dream to be a Raider. A la Jack Del Rio. Right?
Yeah.
So I just think it's he's a little sentimental right now.
Right.
He's a little angry. But at the same time, I said, the things that he said, they don't have to be taken so negatively. They could be looked at as motivation for the guys that are on the team.
That's
okay?
true.
Maybe he's trying to ruffle some feathers to get something else out of these guys that he didn't get out of them while he was here. Okay? The things that he said about Derek Carr, I don't think he's completely out of place saying that he's not Aaron Rodgers. He hasn't accomplished what Aaron Rodgers has accomplished. Right? So you can't be mad at him for that. He's not saying that Derek Carr can't be what Aaron Rodgers is.
Right.
But it's yet to be seen.
But to say he's not tough when he fought through that injury, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think Derek Carr's soft. We've talked about this before, and I don't want to go at length, but him alone was not going to save that locker room. It got to a place, and I don't know what his political beliefs are. A lot of people say, this and that about it, but I think it just got to a spot where it's like, this is not my place to get in the middle of all this. It just went foobar, and it is what it is. But yeah, man, Rod Woodson kind of got out of pocket, in my opinion, out of pocket. And there's a point, Dieter Kurtenbach actually tweeted this out, and I went back and I looked at it. There's a point where he's throwing the coaching staff under the bus, and then you can kind of see his eyes look up at the ceiling and realize, I was a part of that coaching staff. And then he stops and kind of goes another direction. So anyways, not big news, but I'd be remiss if we didn't mention it because, we'd like to talk shit too.
Yeah, we do.
It's what we do on here, man. Hey, for those of you that are listening, maybe new to the show, this is not a Raiders Insider podcast.
No.
This is a Raiders podcast.
This is a Raider fan podcast.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
We're here.
Yeah.
We're trying to be your voice, our voice. We're just some guys hanging out.
We're all one, man.
Talking Raiders. That's what it is.
One nation.
EJ Manuel returns to the Raiders. So does Shalik Calhoun. Both guys resigned today. Glad to see EJ Manuel's in the plans. I think he's a very capable backup. I think he could have gotten more of a shot last year during the Carr injury.
Yeah.
And I think this guy he's got multiple assets. He's definitely a weapon. He's mobile. He's pretty savvy. You saw him make plays last year when plays broke down. There's rumors out there, or maybe it's news, maybe it's real, that he was hamstrung and handcuffed while Carr was out. And in the Ravens game, he kind of threw caution to the wind and he chucked the ball downfield to Crabtree touchdown. So I like EJ Manuel. I think he's a gamer. The only thing I don't like about this, and this is really nitpicking, is having a backup quarterback with a different type of skill set than your starting quarterback can sort of,
true.
You know what I mean?
Because the game plan isn't going to be the same.
It's not.
Yeah.
But, I think EJ Manuel, he's a gamer, and I think he's a value to have as a backup quarterback, and I like the guy.
Yeah.
And Carr seems to like the guy.
Yeah.
So what's not to like about that? And that's short up now. So now you got EJ, you got Connor Cook, and you got Josh Johnson. I think Josh Johnson is there to help install the scheme and the play calling during training camp. I don't think he's on the roster come September. I really don't.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah, and Shalik Calhoun, man, there's really not much to say about Shalik. Yet to see what happens with that.
Yeah.
The verdict is out.
Yeah.
Your jury's out.
Don't be surprised if he ends up on the practice squad or cut again.
Possibly.
Yeah,
it's possible. So we'll see what happens. Maybe Gunther can find something to do with him. He's definitely, again, another specimen, big guy, fast guy. But does he have the technique and the fundamental and the skill set to actually survive in the NFL?
Yeah.
Yet to be seen.
Prove us wrong.
Right?
Yeah, prove us wrong.
Dude,
I don't know. I have no problem. Don't take our words and get hurt about what we're saying. We just want to see some production.
Yeah.
We just want to see some production. We'll become your biggest fan if you do that.
Or if you come on the show for an interview.
Or if you come on the show, yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, man, quick hits.
Yeah.
We got Stephen Michaels from The Raiders Daily. That's his website, and it's also his Twitter handle. So if you're listening now, make sure you go follow him. Check out the site. He does a podcast that posts up on YouTube, and he does his live periscopes every week, too. Those are very informational. Now, he doesn't call himself an insider. I'd say that's more of an insider show. If you really want to know maybe what the Raiders' leanings are, maybe what some of the rumors are, or if he does have his pulse on the situation, and you want to kind of get a heads up on what might be happening, I'd say this is definitely a guy to follow. follow. I think he's got an interesting personality. He's got some flair. He comes in hot takes.
Yep.
And that's why we got him on the show this week. So we're going to take a quick pause. We're going to get him on air. We're going to come back for the interview. And we hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, we're joined now by Stephen Michaels from the Raiders Daily. You can follow him on Twitter at the Raiders Daily. Welcome to the show, Stephen. How you doing tonight?
Good. How you guys doing? I'm glad to be here.
Doing good. Riding out the end of this first wave of free agency here with the Oakland Raiders. Let's get into it, man. What's been your biggest shocker so far in terms of free agency for the Raiders?
Well, mostly all the players that nobody really knows about, all these veteran players that John Gruden's been bringing in. They haven't been, big name players. Not a lot of players that I can even see making the roster, to be honest with you. But, they have brought in some solid players, a lot of linebackers. Whitehead he's going to be a starter, obviously. Marcus Gilchrist, he's all right. Rashaan Melvin is definitely probably the second best pickup they've made, and besides Jordy Nelson, obviously.
Yeah.
And everyone else is kind of, Sharice Wright. I don't know. He's old, and I guess he'll fit in somewhere. And the other guys seem like more special teams guys, besides Doug Martin, of course.
Right.
Yeah, you got to hope that Wright isn't the answer for the nickel position, and neither is Dexter McDonald or Hamilton. You got to hope that that's a competition right there, and maybe we continue to bolster that in the draft, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I agree with you. I think old age seems to be a theme here in Raiders free agency. John Gruden rounding out the bottom and the middle of this roster with older veteran players, a little more savvy. You can argue that's a bad strategy. You can argue that's a better strategy than rounding out the bottom of your roster with cast-offs and undrafted rookies and just guys that generally can't make the cut. In essence, we're trading that off for guys that are at the tail end of their career or guys that are looking for a second chance or a second opportunity, guys coming in with a chip on their shoulder. So I see what you're saying. Old age definitely seems to be the theme here, starting off with Jordy Nelson. A lot of fans are excited about, a lot of fans are meh about. If you had to give this free agency season so far, this offseason, a grade, what grade would you give it so far?
Okay, let me just be honest with you guys for a second. I'm not very happy the Raiders released Michael Crabtree. I thought that was a big mistake. Mm-hmm. I think he's better than Jordy Nelson. And I think it was not a great move to trade Cordero Patterson. Mm-hmm. I don't think that was smart. And James Alawali is a guy who constantly has been making plays for the Raiders for the past couple of seasons. He's been underutilized, but we all saw this coming, obviously. Gruden kept saying they need a fullback.
Right.
But with all this, with all these players, I would probably give it a C, to be honest with you. They needed depth in that defense, and that's what they got now. But they did make some, I don't know, not very smart moves, in my opinion. Cordero Patterson stands out really big to me. And the other guys, like I said, they needed depth. They got a bunch of it. They got guys on defense that can come right in and play. They got to sign Navarro Bowman back. I think that'll probably happen. They signed EJ Manuel back. So they're doing okay. Yeah. Right now, I think they're doing what they can with the money they have, basically.
So yeah, and I guess that's what I was going to get to next. The trade-off would be not signing, a half dozen players and maybe going after one or two big name signings. Right. Now, what I've seen in the past in free agency is fans of teams get really excited when you sign a big name, flashy, marquee player, and then as it turns out, that player generally not a major factor in the win-loss column as it goes forward. A lot of these guys end up cashing paychecks, or as it turns out, they are on the downside of their career, and they're basically cashing in on their way down. So what we're getting right now is sort of the players we've signed. I feel like the silver and black lining to all of this is what you're getting out of them at the very least. And I hate to say it, but it's those moves where don't get your hopes up, but could have been worse. I really don't know how else to paint this picture. Now, the Crabtree argument, definitely very controversial. A lot of fans, sad to see him go. I'd say the majority of fans sad to see him go. Some fans feel like it was the right move considering all the rumors coming out of Oakland. What would you say about those rumors about Crabtree in the locker room, him being a diva, that sort of being his pedigree coming out of San Francisco? I mean, what are we to think about this as Raider Nation? What is Raider Nation to make out of all of that?
Okay, listen, the rumors, first of all, they're just not true. I mean, this guy literally showed up to work all the time. He did everything asked of him. Mm-hmm. Now, you got to remember, last season, Jack Del Rio and that incompetent coaching staff, they weren't very good. You know what I mean? Michael Crabtree had 3 targets in the last 2 games. Mm-hmm. It was like they were avoiding him. They took him out of plays. They just didn't want to throw him the football. It wasn't Crabtree.
Right.
If you remember, all the way back in December, Michael Gelkin of Las Vegas Review-Journal already had something out saying the Raiders were going to release him. This is during the season.
Right.
You know what I mean? So think about if you're Michael Crabtree, okay? Mm-hmm. You have been reliable for this team, and then all of a sudden you read you're going to get cut in December. You know what I mean? During the season. So I don't know. I don't think it was the right move. I think it was kind of, it wasn't going well with the last coaching staff, and John Gruden just didn't want to deal with it. He probably didn't put much time into it. Just thought, I want to go with someone else. That's what pretty much happened. And that was it, and they moved on. But most of the stuff with Michael Crabtree is completely BS, to be honest with you. The drama and all that stuff. It really wasn't him. It was the coaching staff. I mean, it wasn't just Michael Crabtree who was upset with the coaching staff. It was most of the players, including the franchise quarterback, Derek Carr. So,
right.
You know what I mean? It just didn't make sense, but, they had to do. And you are right about, getting one big free agency. One big free agent, sorry. That never works out. Never. No. It never works out when a team spends all their money on one single guy. That guy, first of all, remember this. Everyone is a free agent for a reason. If a player was that great, they're not letting them go. You know what I mean? So it's maybe 10% of the time a player is a free agent just because of some, money issue or something like that. Most of the time, they're a free agent for a reason. And it's better to do what the Raiders are doing, and the smarter teams make the better moves like this next coming week and the week after. That's when you can find really good players at a cheap rate. So the Raiders are doing the smart thing. They're gathering up a bunch of players. They may not be superstars, but they're gathering them all up. Together, they'll make a better squad than just one guy, one cornerback, which the Raiders did want Jermaine Johnson. They did. But when the market got set, it was way too high.
It was crazy.
Yep. They had to back out.
Yeah, I just want to touch on really quick. I don't want to beat the dead horse. I know you're tired of talking about it. I'm tired of talking about it. But I just thought you were the guy that could come in here and kind of set the story straight regarding Crabtree. I think the rules were different now. If they were more like they used to be and Gruden had a chance to sit down and talk with this guy, maybe there's a different outcome there. Yeah. A lot of people are saying, well, Crab was pulling himself out of games. I don't think Crabtree was pulling himself out of games. This is a guy
that never happened.
The only complaint Crabtree had is he was not getting the ball enough. A guy that's not getting the ball enough is not going to take himself off the field.
Right.
The logic just does not add up there.
Yeah.
No, game winner after game winner. That's all Crabtree did for the Raiders. That's all he did. The problem is Gruden, honestly, he didn't talk to Crabtree. They didn't have really a good meet. You know what I mean? They didn't have a face-to-face meeting. All he heard was negative things. And there are players, I will say this, there are players on the Raiders roster that don't like Michael Crabtree. And I'll say it. His name's Donald Penn. He does not like Michael Crabtree. They never liked each other. But, that's it, really. And last season, there was a lot of drama going on. I mean, it was tons of it, but it was mostly driven, like I said, from politics and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But all that stuff, all that drama, I can assure you, I know this for a fact, by the way, is gone. Like, players got to talk to each other It's not anything anymore, mostly because there's a new coaching staff.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that last coaching staff, I mean, Jack Del Rio comes in, the president of the United States of America calls NFL players dummy, and he's on Twitter liking tweets by the guy. You know what I mean? So it just didn't rub the players the right way. They weren't into it, and their head was just never in the game. Not to mention, Derek Carr has 3-4 broken bones in his back. Instead of keeping him out 2-3 weeks, they could have had EJ Manuel easily win. Let's say even one of those games, you get a healthy Derek Carr back. They rushed Derek Carr back, and he had no time to heal. And it's like if you have a broken finger and every day you just keep stomping on your finger, it's never going to get better. And that's what happened to Derek Carr. That's why it wasn't good last season. The coaching staff panicked, and they brought him right back in. He wasn't ready to come back in, but Derek Carr is not going to say no. So that's what happened, and that's why the team just fell apart.
Yeah, absolutely. But Raider fans can breathe a sigh of relief because it's all been reset. We got a brand new season. There's always hope going into a new season. Now, again, to just kind of touch on what you said about free agency, what we were talking about with these big name players, guys are released for a reason. And the guy I want to touch on right now, he's not coming to Oakland, and I'm glad, I'm honestly glad, is Ndamukong Suh, right? So he could have stayed with Miami. I think it was a $8 million cap hit, $9 million cap hit, somewhere around there. And instead, they decided to take a $22 million dead money hit and release him. There's a reason for that.
Right.
Right? What would you rather do? Eat the $8 million or eat $22 million?
Right.
So you got to look at that. Yeah. Right? That's a factor.
Yeah. You know, honestly, he played the Raiders for leverage.
The whole thing was bullshit. The whole thing was bullshit.
Oh, man. The PR tweets that he leaks to insiders, a couple insiders, they're tweeting stuff out that's obviously coming from his PR team. You know, he's intrigued by every team. He's intrigued by the Titans. He's intrigued by playing with this guy from the Rams. I'm sorry, Stu doesn't talk like that. I'm just telling you how it is. He does not talk like that, and it's not coming from him. It's his agent talking to these insiders, and they're running with it because they get a little scoop from Sue. Meanwhile, he's playing each team like a fiddle, trying to get the most money he can. You don't want him on your team, to be honest with you. I mean, this is especially the Raiders who are coming off all the drama. You don't want to bring that in. He is a good player, and the Raiders do need a defensive tackle. I believe they'll get one eventually. But they do need a good defensive tackle, but it's not worth paying the guy, you know, whatever he wants, $14 million or whatever it is a season. He's not worth that much money. If the Raiders could get him cheap for a 1-year deal, they would have done it in a heartbeat. That's what they were hoping. But, you know, at the end, I think he already has a deal somewhere else.
Right.
Right. I mean, likely landing spot's probably LA for him. But I wanted to clear that up for Raider Nation, too. You guys got your hopes up. You do it every year. Let me just kind of put this in terms that you guys can understand. You were very excited when we got Richard Seymour. How'd that turn out for you?
Yeah.
Think about all of the big name free agents that the Raiders have signed in history and how that's panned out. So don't be too disappointed. In fact, breathe a sigh of relief that we're not stuck with that contract and you got more money to play with. And this staff is going to continue to bring in lunch pail, non-exciting players that are going to come in here and grind it out. These are hustle guys.
There you go.
They may not make the highlight reel every week, but they're going to come together and fingers crossed, play as a team, right? And work hard and grind it out through training camp. So, Michaels, you're a great follow on Twitter. I really like looking at what you post. You seem to have your finger on the pulse of what's happening next. And rarely are you wrong? And when you are wrong, you admit it, and there's usually a reason for it. Stand-up guy. I like it. A lot of transparency there with Stephen Michaels. If you're not following Stephen, you should. I'm just saying that right now.
Everyone should.
Everyone should. There's a lot of
everyone should.
There's a lot of guys out there with quote-unquote sources. This is the guy you need to follow.
Okay, let's talk about this, shall we? Can we talk about that?
Let's talk about it.
Are we allowed to?
Yeah.
We can say whatever you want.
Let's talk about this. All right, first of all, I just want to say I find it very disrespectful that someone wakes up at the age of 65 years old and calls himself a journalist. I am friends with a ton of journalists. People know who I'm friends with. And you know what? They went to school and got a degree. They spent years to be a journalist. You don't wake up at the age of 65 years old and all of a sudden call yourself a journalist. You also don't wake up at some random day a week and think you're an insider. I don't even call myself an insider. I have friends. I've been covering the Raiders since 2013. Obviously, I've made some, connections. I talk to people, but I don't know everything. I'm not Vic Kafer. And it would be disrespectful for me to go out there and say I'm Vic Kafer. But people, Twitter insiders, what they do is they guess. It's a game. They look at free agency. They read people's tweets and they guess. And if it turns out their guess is right, they'll, of course, retweet it. And they use words like likely and all these dumb terms, phrases.
Rumblings.
It's a game they play. It's a game. They don't have inside sources. People don't understand what sources even mean, too. That's another problem. They just hear the word and they think they just use it. They have no idea what it means. They don't even understand how hard it is to get someone to risk their job to give you information. They don't understand that. It takes years. I could never do what I do right now if my wife didn't have she works for the government. If she didn't have a good job, I would not be able to do what I do right now. It's impossible. I work 24 hours a day, basically, covering the Raiders. I could not do this. So let me just explain this to you. No one can do it part-time. It's just not possible. The only Raider insiders are Vic Kafer and the beat writers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
It's not some random dude who's 80 years old and that's just a Raiders fan. That's not the way it works. But I don't know. That's just all I got to say about that.
What I tell you, Chase, straight shooter. No?
Straight shooter, man.
Straight shooter.
That's it. You're right.
That's it.
I never doubted you.
So
I'm right. That's the problem. Just no one says anything about it, and I hate it because I gotta respond to these people. Is this true? No, it's not true. You're getting duped. I just feel bad for Raider fans, especially on Twitter, because I gotta deal with it all the time. I gotta deal with these people asking me questions like I've never even heard of. Are the Raiders signing this person? Where the hell did you hear that? Then they tell me, and it ends up being some kind of yoga instructor or something. I'm like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Do you really think this guy has sources inside the Raiders building? That's not even how it works. Right. That's not how it works. I mean, I don't want to go through how the whole thing, well, I guess I can. The whole thing, how it works, is people get information from agents and scouts and things like that. It's Reggie McKenzie is not calling a yoga instructor. Reggie McKenzie is not calling anyone on Twitter, giving them inside information. That's not the way it works.
Right.
Just letting everyone know.
You heard it here
and
first.
If you want real news, you can just follow me, the Raiders Daily.
Do that, Raider Nation. Make
go.
sure you
do
pick
it
up
right
that
now.
follow.
Do it right now.
Yeah, I think earlier you dropped, just letting people know Greg Biekert is a free agent out there.
Oh.
So
yes, he is. He is. And also, I just want to let everyone know there is no point of buying Madden 19, get a PlayStation 2, Madden 2008. All the players are available. You got to say it for the Raiders, but they're all available. Madden 2008, that's the one you got to get, guys.
Fire.
Every player is available. You don't have to create any players, just the guys they draft. Mm-hmm. But, you can just change their names. It's fine. You know what I mean? Just change their name. I have Aaron Brooks on my team. I changed his name to Derek Carr. I know he's not, black, but who cares? Aaron Brooks is Derek Carr on my game. So it's okay. 2008 version. Go ahead and buy it. It's worth it. You don't have to create many players.
There you go.
So, Steven, let me pick your brain a little bit. If you had to guess, and I'm not asking you to guess, but what's your inclination of where the Raiders go next in free agency? I know you've been talking about Oakland still looking at the wide receiver core. Should we expect an interior defensive lineman to come aboard before the draft? And what's your feeling there?
Well, I know they already contacted defensive tackles. They contacted Tom Johnson. They contacted a few guys. None came for visits, I don't think, but they contacted. I'm sure they're going to bring someone in. They're still looking for a wide receiver, which doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Like I said, a lot of these moves don't make sense to me, especially the linebackers, because if you remember, they still got Marquel Lee on their team. They still got Nicholas Morrow. They got Corey James. Yep. But like I've been telling people, Gruden doesn't care what Jack Del Rio and Reggie McKenzie did. He's bringing in his own guys. So he doesn't really care. I mean, the core guys obviously, you know, are going to stay and everything like that. But that's why he's bringing in his own guys, and they're going to compete for a job, obviously. So, but yeah, they've been looking for wide receivers, which, like I said, makes no sense because you have Jordy Nelson, you have Amari Cooper, you have Seth Roberts. So to me, it just spells trouble for Johnny Holton. That's the only one I could think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only one I could think of that it would be bad for. And they got an offense. They finally got a right tackle today. So that's something, you know, they don't really have to look for anymore. They'll probably draft a guy. And they have a bunch of offensive tackles when Jalen Ware, David Sharp.
Yeah.
I don't know why John Gruden forgot about them, but they have all those guys. But yeah, I would expect a defensive tackle eventually. And then of course they got a ton of draft picks.
Yeah.
So, you know, they can get guys there, and they're going to get a wide receiver eventually. And then on their own roster, I don't think the cuts are over yet. I think there's going to be maybe one or two more, and it's going to come at the tight end position.
Yeah, it looks like Cook with that $5.5 million cap hit, definitely a target on his back at this point. I know John Gruden values versatility.
Or
Clive Walford.
Walford.
Neither one of them block very well, and Gruden's a big fan of having 6 blockers on the line at all times.
Well, he signed 2.
Yeah.
Right? He signed 2.
Yep.
We got two blocking tight ends now.
Yeah, you got Smith and you got Carrier.
And then if you draft one, you know what I mean, you really don't need I would keep Connor. This is just my personal opinion. I would keep Jared Cook, but Clive Walford, after that ATV accident he's never been the same. And if you cut him, you save $1 million. They're not going to really use him. They got Lee Smith back. They're probably going to draft a tight end. So they could just move on from Clive Walford, and they probably will. I think they're trying to trade Jared Cook. I don't know this personally. I just want to say that.
Okay.
But I think they're trying to trade him before they cut him because he is a weapon. Now, John Gruden said he wanted to surround Derek Carr with weapons, but remember, John Gruden, it looks like he's using more tight ends as blockers, not weapons. You know what I mean? So maybe he doesn't go the route with a tight end that can catch the football. Maybe they're just blocking tight ends and they catch a couple passes a game and that's it.
Right.
I don't know. We don't know Gruden's system. Nobody does. And that's one good thing if you're a Raiders fan is nobody knows what John Gruden's going to do.
Right.
Nobody knows.
And
it's an element of surprise. So.
And if you were to base it on the past, John's really never produced a high-end tight end.
Right.
Again, they're
Ricky Dudley?
Yeah, come on now. Hey, now.
Ricky Dudley.
Yeah. But I think that the
Chaz Schillen's fan, too. I bet. Chaz Schillen, Javon Walker, the GOAT, Justin Fargas.
There you go.
Come on.
Hey, his dad was Huggy Bear, man. You can't be mad at that. His dad was Huggy Bear.
Totally.
Yeah, fish tanks for shoes. And then just touching on the tackle we signed today, Giacomini. He was a turnstile last year in Houston, but former Cable guy. That's the only way I can make sense of that signing. So I'm going to get out of the way. Che's got a couple questions for you, Steven. I'm going to let him fire those at you.
Yeah, Steven. So obviously,
what's up?
The defense is a major issue for us, and we've, like you mentioned already, we've had a lot of pickups this free agency, which has been a big surprise to most Raider fans, considering the last year's free agency was pretty quiet. So solidifying the center of the defense is the main concern, right? It's been the main concern since 2016. McKenzie he made an attempt, shall we say, to correct this or improve this issue by drafting Eddie Vander Does, Markel Lee, and also Trayvon Hester, right? That was a little attempt at solidifying the center of the defense. And as we all know, that wasn't very successful. We then added Navarro Bowman later on in the season to help that. And I think we all can agree that helped us out quite a bit. That being said, recently we just added Tahir Whitehead, which you mentioned, and we added also Tank Carradine from the 49ers. Do you see these guys? Do you see them? Well, first of all, how do you see their impact? What impact do you see from both of these players, respectively?
Well, Tank, I don't really see much in, but Whitehead, I believe, is a guy who he can cover. He's not the best, but he can cover. And this is a guy who has played middle linebacker in the past and played outside. So, and he's really good at, most people don't see this, but I watch a lot of films, so I know this crazy, stupid stuff. He's always there, like around the ball. Let's say someone fumbles the ball or something. He's right there to, pick up the fumble. It doesn't cause a lot of them, but he's always in that play.
Right.
And I think he's actually going to be one of all these free agents. I think he's going to be the one that stands out the most. He's the best signing. Okay. Now, as far as middle linebacker goes, this is 2 years in a row that Reggie McKenzie went into a season without a good middle linebacker and basically panicked. They did it with Perry Riley Jr. They signed him, 6-8 games in a season because they were getting killed. And then they go into the following year without a veteran middle linebacker again and get shredded. And then luckily NaVorro Bowman was available and they picked him up and things got fine. They cannot go into another season without a veteran middle linebacker. I have a feeling NaVorro Bowman will be back just because, let's face it, the guy, he's the top-ranked middle linebacker in free agency, and the guy hasn't taken a single visit yet.
Right.
And the Raiders already did give him an offer. He has an offer on the table. He just has to sign it. So, obviously there's going back and forth with that, but he has an offer. All he has to do is sign it, and we'll see if it happens. For all we know, listen, E.J. Manuel and the Raiders, there was never a plan that they were going to move on from E.J. Manuel. They knew he was coming back the entire time. For all I know, Vic Tafur knows, every single person in the world knows, NaVorro Bowman and the Raiders have that same kind of agreement. They know he's coming back, but they got to get other players first for cap reasons, and then they sign Bowman. It's just odd to me that he hasn't taken any visits, and I know teams called. Yeah. He hasn't taken any visits, and he's just kind of sitting there, and he has an offer on the table. But until he takes a visit, I wouldn't freak out about it. But they do got to get better in the middle. They really do.
Right. So that being said, do you think that these guys are a long-term resolution to the issues, or do you see it just as a quick fix in the meantime while we save up our money to do something different?
Oh no, this is just a 1 year thing. I think they're going to draft, middle linebackers. I think that's the plan. Because Whitehead, I believe he only got a year contract, 2 year contract, or a 1 year out. I forgot what it was, but it's just, it's not a long-term contract.
Right.
NaVorro Bowman, if they bring him back, he's not young. So they need to get guys eventually in the draft to have guys for the future. But John Gruden, he loves veterans. So I could see him doing this every year, just bringing in someone else, just keep doing it. But I would rather the Raiders get, I don't know, like a Raekwon Smith, for example. Then you have someone there for the future. But I really like Corey James. I think this guy is ready to take the next step if he got the chance.
Yep.
I think Nicholas Morrow is pretty good. You know what I mean? You got to remember, the guy came out of nowhere, basically.
Yep.
I think if you gave him enough time and, you worked with him, he could be pretty good. It's all about, will John Gruden give these young guys a chance? And if he does, I think it will pay off. I really do.
Definitely. Yeah. No, I like that take, man. I think that's absolutely the way to go. I got more. So I got one more question for you. Obviously we touched on the fact that we've added quite a bit of defensive depth. Do you think that this changes the course for the Raiders in the draft? Do you think that the number 10 pick will then be thrown at whatever best player available is there at number 10, or are we sticking defense with that 10 pick?
I have a feeling, I think everyone is thinking defense, including me, you know what I mean, just because it's so obvious. But John Gruden's going to be picking that first-round pick.
Right.
And we all know John Gruden loves offense. I have a feeling everyone's going to be fooled, and they're going to go take a wide receiver. They're going to take a running back, or even maybe a offensive lineman or something like that. But I just have a feeling we're all going to be fooled here. Now, obviously, best case scenario, somehow Barkley slips down the board because so many teams need a quarterback, and he falls to number 10. Unlikely, but, there's always a chance. If he's there, there's no way the Raiders are going to pass him up. Right. Because remember, they need a running back. You have Marshawn Lynch. Anything could happen with him. Tomorrow, that guy could retire. You know what I mean? That's why the Raiders restructured his deal.
Right.
Because he's a wild card. We never know. And they got Doug Martin. Remember, Doug Martin is like a Trent Richardson. Remember when the Raiders brought him in?
Yeah.
They're just kicking the tires on this guy. They don't know if he's going to make the final roster.
Right.
A lot of Raider fans just think he's going to be on the team. His contract is structured so if he doesn't make the final 3, they don't have to pay him.
Right.
So they know what they're doing with him. Hopefully they can get something out of him. That would be awesome. And plus, they brought him back because he's from Oakland, obviously.
Yeah.
If you notice, there's a lot of guys from Oakland, coming back because they got to sell tickets. And Mark Davis wants a lot of Oakland players, believe it or not. And so it makes it look better for him. But so if there's a good running back, I would not be shocked if John Gruden selects a running back with a 10th round pick. I also wouldn't be shocked if they trade that 10th round pick and, move somewhere, get a couple second rounders or something. You know what I mean? Anything could happen, but they do need, defense should be addressed. And remember the cornerback situation. How many cornerbacks do they have? Like 3? Right. So they need to get another cornerback eventually. Yeah. They have no depth at the cornerback position. They have Garyon Conley. They have Dexter McDonald and Rashawn Melvin, really. That's really all they got. Besides Sharice Wright.
Right.
Marcus Gilchrist, he plays safety. He could play cornerback at 2, I guess, but you really need a cornerback desperately, but they don't have to do that in the first round. Mm-hmm. And about the running back situation, remember, this draft class is loaded. So they can get a star running back in the second round if they really wanted to.
Right.
So I don't know what they're going to do. They don't even know what they're going to do. But I think the best action is to, get a good defensive tackle. I like that Vita Vea guy. There's so many guys I like, in the draft for the Raiders. The Fitzpatrick, the cornerback, he would be pretty cool. There's a lot of guys that would be really cool. The guy I'm really high on, I hope the Raiders can get at some point, somewhere, I don't know where he's going to fall, is Stoney Mitchell. I don't know if you guys watch his film.
Yeah.
But the guy is amazing. I mean, I don't know. When I look at these mock drafts that are never right, by the way, but when I look at those mock drafts, I never see anyone have him in the first round. I don't understand it. The guy looks so great.
Yeah.
But that's a guy I think is going to be a superstar. I hope the Raiders can land him, but we'll see.
Yeah. And he goes right along with your Sony PlayStation 2 take.
There you go.
It would match up perfectly. It would just match up perfectly.
Definitely.
Will Michaels, man, it's been great having you on. I like the energy. You get me fired up, bro.
Yeah.
And look forward to more takes and everything that you put out there on Twitter. And I do listen to your show as well. So we appreciate you coming on here and taking the time to chat with us, bro.
No problem. See, I'm a nice guy. All these people think I'm a terrible person. I don't do people's shows. I'll do anyone's radio show. I don't care.
Well, we appreciate it, man. Maybe we can talk to you again
Congratulations with the ratings, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, man. Yeah. Same to you.
No, I mean after the show.
Yeah. Good one. Set me up there. Teed it off. I like it. Cool stuff, man. Well, anyways, we'll let you get back to doing what you do, and I'll see you on the Twitter sphere probably tomorrow.
There you go.
All right, man. You guys have a good night.
You too.
All right, man. That was Stephen Michaels.
Yeah. Coming in hot, man.
Coming in hot. That's how he does it.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's good stuff, man.
Fired up. You know what I mean? We bring in the young cats on lately. They're hungry.
Yeah.
They're energetic.
Yeah.
They get after it. It's like us.
Yeah.
But we're old.
I'm still young. That's funny. We're both old, man.
Yeah.
My knees hurt, man. Sitting right here in this chair. Shit.
Yes, sir. So, it was a lot to take in. That was a good interview. We're going to let that marinate. We're going to hit the break right now.
Savor it.
We're gonna listen to your calls. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about your calls.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. There's a lot of calls. I'm seeing the voicemail is stacked right now.
Right.
And we're getting into Kane's Corner. and finish off the show for you. We got a lot to talk about in the second half. We understand we were gone last week, and we got a lot to cover.
Yes, we do.
So buckle up, Raider Nation.
Who would have known, right? Who would have known that all this stuff would happen in the week that we decided, hey, let's do best stuff.
Well, kind of should have known. It was the first week of free agency, but
based off of last season,
it's true.
You had reason to think, well, maybe it'll be quiet again.
Yeah.
We were wrong.
Well,
we were wrong.
Well, we'll see, man. We'll see how it goes from here on out. But yeah, we'll come back to it and catch you guys on the other side.
Yeah.
Go Raiders.
Peace.
I'm a Raider, Oakland Raider, from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. What's up, y'all, fellow pillagers? This is your boy Gent, just calling. There's been a whole bunch of activity going on over the last 2 weeks. Last week, last week, my boys wasn't on during the most active time. Stay your ass on the goddamn podcast. We don't want to hear no best of nothing. Keep your ass working. But anyway, called in, talked about a few things. I saw today we brought my boy EJ Manuel back. I was glad to see that. You know, sad that Crabtree got cut. I was looking at Jordy Nelson more like being in the slot with Coop and Crab out wide. But, you know, money's money. And when your money's funny, you act strange. So they let Crabtree go to save a little bit of change. I could dig that. You know, it is what it is. They lightweight trying to play the cancer role. But, hey, I wasn't in the locker room to know, so I'm not going to put that on Crabtree or nobody else. My boy Rob Woodson, still love you. He was talking shit about what the Raiders is doing. Relax. And everybody else that's talking shit about what the Raiders is doing need to relax too. Go ahead, see what's cracking, and it'll all come out in the wash. So, Doug Martin, I look at that as a good, tough back to catch the ball out the backfield. Give my boy Lynch a little rest. Reminds me of a smaller back like Charlie Garner was. A little shifty, but with power. So we'll see how that all turns out. There's a lot of stuff going on. You know, we started slow in free agency, and now we done made more moves in free agency than anybody else. I think we got 16 free agents as the time I make this phone call. Probably gonna get some more. So, man, that's a lot of turnover to the roster, and a lot of them guys may not even be there no more. Come camp, might be a lot of camp bodies, but we'll see what cracks. You know, I'm really looking forward to the season. Shit, go Raiders. Holler at y'all later. Go.
Hey, this message for Kenny Stapler. Just a long time listener to your blog, and just wanted to call in now. And I probably have some choice words to rip on Reggie McKenzie. If you haven't figured out who this is, I just wanted to go through a few of the details that I have. I'm not really sure that his dollar store, his way of approaching free agency is going to work out. Just getting a bunch of spare parts and no real upgrades. Waiting to see if Chucky can come in and coach these people up, but we'll see. It'll be an interesting season. I'm not sure it'll be the resurgence some people are looking for, but we'll see. I'm rooting for them. Go Raiders. Guess 1, 2, 3. Bye.
Yo, it's Flunk. So, give me Bowman, call it good, get to work on the draft. Go Nevada.
Raider Nation, this is your boy 303, calling from beautiful 70-degree, sunny Denver, Colorado. Kenny, Jay, how are you? Hope all is well. Yeah, it's been an interesting couple of weeks with the free agent signings. Of course, we on PillagingJustForFun.com had major meltdowns on no signing of any splash free agents. But of course, when we found out we didn't have any money and we take a step back, that wasn't surprising. I will tell you, I like the Melvin pickup. Watch some of his film. I think he could be a legit number 2 corner. maybe even push Conley for the number 1 unless we draft somebody. The Whitehead pick looks good. Not a great cover corner, but definitely someone that we can count on. The fullback from Dallas looks really good. I wasn't really surprised by any of the cuts. I've been on the get rid of Crabtree bandwagon since he got in a fight with Toledo. I just was like, this is BS. And I actually think that his production in the last year and a half has actually gone down. One thing about Michael Crabtree, and yes, Raider Nation, I understand, he has caught some amazing passes, some of the most memorable touchdowns that we've seen in a long time, but he always starts off good, but the second half of most of his seasons, look at his stats, they've been down. He wasn't a locker room leader guy. He wasn't going to lead, Cooper. He wasn't going to show Cooper how to do work. So bringing in Jordy Nelson, even though he's a little bit older, I definitely like that. And he's not injury prone. I mean, my gosh, he's played 31 out of the last 32 games ever since that ACL injury. Guy's been money. He's missed like 1 game. So Jordy Nelson, a great pickup. We've got some depth with most of the free agent signings. And again, we weren't going to make any splashes because we've got to extend Mac. We've got to get Cooper done next year. And this team is going to be built through the draft. So, John's banking on some of these younger picks that Reggie's made over the last couple of years to step up. And, it looks like we need it definitely looks like we're going pass rusher. Davenport's looking more and more like the pick with the first round pick. I don't see us taking a corner at number 1. I definitely think we'll get a corner in the 2nd or 3rd round, and I see us picking up a receiver as well in the 2nd or 3rd round because we've got to definitely replace Jordy Nelson, and then we've got to get rid of Seth Roberts. So anyways, Raider Nation, free agency's been fun. Excited about the draft in about a month or so. Have a great night. We'll see everyone and talk to everyone soon. I'm out.
Hey, this is Friskies. Had a great night last night with the boys, and JFB was there, and he would like to invite all of you to come visit him in Albuquerque. His real name is Jacob Fred Bub. His address is 24 Mark Street, apartment 12. His phone number is 212-663-8900. Touchdown Raiders!
What's up, nation? It's Juice. Kenny, Kane, Che, all the bloggers, the pillagers. What's up, guys? Kenny, I still have that dope flag, so whenever you guys are ready for the YouTube, you let me know. I'd love to be a fly on the wall again. Anyways, last time I called was right after Gruden got hired, and I said at the time that I was cautiously optimistic about it, okay? Because I didn't know they necessarily needed him as the coach, but I wanted an offensive-minded coach. And then the first thing he does is talk about it being, bringing it back to 1998 or whatever. And, it was kind of funny at first because we thought it was a joke or whatever, that mentality. But then he goes and brings in another blocking tight end and a blocking fullback and brings in this busted-ass running back from Tampa Bay. And what really kind of was making me raise eyebrows at what's really going on here is he gets rid of our most consistent and our most clutch receiver of the past 2 years, lets him go, and brings in a guy that's 2 years older than him, like 33 or whatever, and he, definitely seems like he's on the decline. So I don't know. I mean, I don't watch a whole lot of Green Bay games, so I don't know. And that's my point, because you talked about 1998, and it reminds me of, my first son was born in 1997. And I'm remembering back then when everybody kept telling me, because I was young, whatever, and I remember everybody kept telling me, oh, it's going to be like this, or it's going to be like that, or you're going to feel like this when he's born, or you're going to feel like that, it's going to be like whatever. And I remember at about, it must have been, month 7, month 8, and my girlfriend at the time, then about month 8 or so, and everyone's telling me, I was so tired of hearing what it was going to be like. And I just wanted the baby to come already so I could just see, how do I feel? What is it like? Well, that's how I feel about, this Gruden situation. We haven't even had the draft yet. We haven't had any mini camps or any of this kind of stuff, so we don't know what it's really going to be like. And I'm getting kind of tired of hearing, Gruden's new, it's going to be like this, or Gruden's going to be like that. Well, I just want to see it happen already. Like, I just want to see, let's see what it looks like. I can't wait. And I know it's only March, and I'm going crazy here already. But I just want to get, not be told what it's going to be like. I just want to see what it's all about. And I think that, although I'm getting nervous, I'm still cautiously optimistic. And I think that's where we all need to be at this point. Anyways, hope all's well with everybody. Catch you guys later.
Yo, guys, it's IR Johnny. Hey, we've been talking defense, man, for the draft. So we all know the prospects that are coming out. Ken, a little bit of a trade back, Mo Hurst, blah, 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 blah. Let's talk about offense a little bit. Just give us your takes on maybe Geis, Ridley, Christian Kirk, Sony Michel, Chubb. A lot of guys out there, and a lot of guys that can help us. So thanks, guys, and go Raiders.
What up, guys? Raider WAP. Man, crickets, free agency, that's all I'm hearing. Crickets. Opportunities flying right by, not taking them. It is what it is. There's fans that are pulling their hair out right now. There's people that are just sitting back. I'm just drinking a beer. That's all you can. This team has never made awesome decisions, ever. They're always hit and miss. You should be used to this. And picking up some wide receivers, that's kind of good, kind of bad. Kind of good because I'm sick of the drop seats, man. Shit sucks. They need to stop eating Butterfingers, start eating some Snickers or something because they suck. But I just wish everyone a good day and things will get better then. The smoke and drink and everything will be alright. Y'all loosen your heads, calm down. Whatever happens, happens. Alright, the WAP is out. Raiders.
Hello? Yeah, I found this number on a bathroom stall inside of Kansas City. It's a call for a joke. I guess that must be this podcast. All Raider fans think you're all crazy, got Gruden back. Don't you hear what he's saying? He's talking about like it's 1999, like it's Prince or something. What a joke, 1999. He's going to have to change that white banana to Purple Rain. Poor Mr. Carr, your quarterback. They say that Christians are the most persecuted people on this planet. As O-line proved it. Stepped aside, let him take one because they didn't like what he had to say. Everybody knows that's what happened. And he was persecuted like the Christian that he was. Podcast is a joke. Kenny Stabler, J-Rob, Kane, bunch of free base heads. I bet y'all gonna go outside after this and play the Dumbo game. Ice cold honky here. I'm out.
Hi guys, this is a Raider in England, and I know there's a lot of draft talk and free agency talk right now, but I just kind of wanted to say a very quick word about the Raiders playing in London this year, and how we over here understand how pissed off, justifiably pissed off, how you guys lose a home game over there and it probably feels really crap, and you don't want a bunch of knowledgeless buffoons watching your team. I just kind of wanted to reassure, for whatever it's worth, that over here there are tens and tens of thousands of us that genuinely love this team and genuinely follow this team. I was the kid in school when we'd be asked by our teacher who's your favourite sports star, and all the other kids were talking about soccer players and this, that and the other, and this is back in the kind of early to mid 80s, and my answer was Lyle Alvarado or Howie Long or Marcus Allen or Jim Plunkett or those kind of guys, and nobody had a clue who they were. But we've been following this team for a long time, and we feel slightly apologetic towards you guys over there for losing that home game, but we just kind of want to say that we're going to do everything we possibly can to make this into a full-on Raider home game in as much as we possibly can. We'll never try to be Oakland fans. We are British Raider fans, but we love it. and we've got a long history, and we never get the opportunity to watch them play. And this has been only my third game. You know, I've been following this team since 1983, and we would love to see as many of you as possible come over here and come and watch the game, to make it more authentic for us to hear your accent. Our accents don't work. It doesn't sound quite right when we talk about the Raiders. But we just want to say we will do our absolute best to make it as much of a Raider home game as we possibly can. That's really all I want to say, apart from thank you to Kenny and Jay and Kane for doing this podcast. I'm kind of judgmental about podcasts, man. I listen to them all, and this is right up there. This is top tier Raider podcast, and I just want to say thanks a lot for putting it together and all the work you do on it. I love it, and I know that there's a ton of us over here that love it as well. So best of luck for the rest of the podcast.
And we're back. Excuse me if I burp a little bit, but homie just came through.
Yeah.
With the fire brisket.
In big ways he came through.
Big ways. This is like a 3-pound brisket.
Not now. It's not a 3-pound brisket anymore.
It's like a 2-pound brisket. Yeah. So brisket free agency is in full effect. Great acquisition.
That was the best acquisition of the year.
That was good. It came in clutch because I'm hungry. It's National Wing Day.
Oh.
And I had wings I was going to make, but I didn't. But we're winging it now. I feel rusty, bro. It's been a minute.
It's a week off, man. We didn't get a stretch in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed
We're
the
winded.
best of episode. I see not everybody listened to it, but good response regardless. We appreciate that. We put that up there because we thought some of you newer listeners maybe hadn't heard those conversations, and we have fun putting it together. Yeah.
It's good times.
So we'll continue to do that in the future when we can't go, and hopefully next time we don't miss the first week of free agency. But yeah, we got a lot more in store. I'm looking forward to bringing it back to the first season of the podcast, which is very different, but interesting to listen to. Interesting to go back and hear how kind of it all started and stuff like that. So something we'll do in the future just to kind of keep the content out there. And got some more ideas for more stuff, but that's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about your calls right now. So we're back on the air, Gent. You're happy to know that. Damn, my boss, real tough on me.
Yeah.
He told me to keep working.
Yeah. Chance in the studio. Keep working. No days off.
No best of shows.
The hell's the best of show?
All right. I feel your pain, Jen. We missed being in the studio as much as y'all missed listening to it, maybe even more so. I was just telling Shay off the air here. I don't necessarily look forward to the podcast every week as much as I look forward to just kicking it. The podcast is work, man. It's like it's a 2-hour show. It's like a 6-hour production.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you put in a lot of hours, man.
Yeah, I mean it happens, you know. But it's all well worth it. But I definitely look forward to kicking it. But we needed that kick in the ass, Gent, so we appreciate it. Great take on Crabtree. I think you pretty much nailed it. We already talked about it in the last segment, so we're not going to reset our takes here. Yeah. But you nailed it, right?
Yeah, you did.
Well, he's going to be missed. It's going to be weird not see. It's going to be weird seeing Jordy Nelson in a Raiders uniform. That's just weird. That's the kind of guy you expected to be a Packer whole career.
Yeah.
Right?
Either that or a Patriot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, true that. Yeah, that sounds about right. But what will be cool to watch is, you know, we know what his numbers look like with Rodgers. Now comparing that to Carr, sort of a barometer there in a weird kind of way. You know, it's a bit of a stretch, that take maybe, but you get where I'm going at. But great call, Jen, man. That was maybe one of the best calls we've ever had, period. I really enjoyed that call. Guest 123. Look, let me set it straight for you. If we can find value in free agency versus mortgaging the whole future, I mean, I'll take that. It's better than putting all your money on one number and entering 2018 full of holes and like fully relying on the draft to round all that out. Nobody's that good at the draft.
Hey, this is football, man.
Yeah.
Okay, this isn't the NBA back in the 90s when one man could take over a game.
True.
Right?
True.
We tried that. We tried that a couple of times, man. A few times we tried that.
Yeah.
Tried that with Randy Moss. How'd that go?
Tried it with Andrew Walter, too. That's what relying on the draft gets you. And Aaron Brooks.
Yeah.
Man.
Didn't work, man.
Didn't work out.
Didn't work. Let's see if we can find a gem here.
Yeah.
Let's try to find a gem in the coal, right?
These are Gruden grinders, are they not?
That's it. Gruden grinders, man.
I'll tell you what, man. But dollar store budget equals dollar store shopping. And that's what the approach is, man. You got to get the most out of what we have. You got to try to squeeze blood out of some of these stones. And let's look back. After 2018, let's look back at how some of these splash free agent signings did. Let's look at how Tremaine Johnson washes out this year. Is he really going to be worth $14 million? Remember, we paid Sean Smith $11 million.
Yeah, how'd that go?
How'd that go? I remember waiting on that too. It was going on Twitter that it was going into the 11th hour in the negotiations. I was getting out of the shower already on my phone, like standing there with the towel and my phone, and nature was taking care of the rest. And I was excited, man, because I got the news right there. Oh, yeah, we got Sean Smith. Not only did we steal him from KC, but we got Sean Smith. And the whole time KC was just laughing at us.
You're like, you thought you got us.
So, like we said with Steven, these big signings, big money doesn't always mean big production. So, Guest, hang in there, bro. I understand it's not as exciting as you thought it would be, but it's season hasn't even started yet. So the real excitement yet to come, hopefully.
Yep.
Plunk, love your calls. Brevity is the soul of wit.
I like that.
And in the spirit of brevity, I'm just going to leave that alone. That was Shakespeare, by the way. You're welcome.
Literature major.
That's it, lit major.
Comes in handy right now.
You guys thought they called me lit major for other reasons. No. Yes and no. Great call, 303 Raider. Good caller, weekly caller. I feel like he calls in pretty much every week.
Mm-hmm.
From sunny Colorado, he keeps rubbing in our face. Well, guess what, Mr. Sunny Colorado? When global warming really strikes down, you guys might be the first to go. It's just an early warning sign is all I got to say. No, all seriousness, enjoy the weather out there, Colorado. Despite the Broncos, beautiful, beautiful place. I've been there once. Thought it was gorgeous. I'd go back. I've been in the winter. I haven't been there out in the summer, but seeing it out there, everything covered in snow, it's pretty cool. Yeah. And a lot of California transplants out there too. Anyways, I think 303 out of all of our callers, he gets it the most. Very realistic understanding of our situation and the moves we had to make. I understand he was out on Crabtree. Hey, I get that too. Michaels came in, said that the rumors are baloney, but I think the one thing that is true about Crabtree is he does have this reputation for being a diva. And if it was because he wasn't seeing the ball enough, I mean, that's fair.
Right.
303 is sour on him. You have all right to be sour on him. Sure, the guy had the dropsies last year. He didn't produce last year. Nobody produced last year, though, to be fair. So, I mean, hey, if you're going to replace Crabtree with another vet, Jordy Nelson, it's a pretty good replacement, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we could have done a lot worse.
Could have done a lot worse. He's older, but production is there. I mean, he was down last year, but look at their situation, too.
They also had another upstart receiver, though, too.
Yeah.
That took up a big bulk of the reception. So
and Hundley and him, they had chemistry.
Yeah,
Hundley didn't have the chemistry with Jordy, but it looks like the chemistry with Carr is already working out. They went on this bromance tour of the Bay Area. Yep. Let's hope that blossoms into something. I do think that Jordy is going to be a great mentor in the locker room, though, for Amari Cooper. I think he can teach him a lot. And again, this is just speculation. Who knows? I'm just Kenny Stapler, but I just feel like Jordy's going to be a better teacher role than Crabtree was.
Right.
I think Crabtree is a hard worker.
Yeah.
I really do. I think he was clutch, but I just see Jordy as being more of a mentor type guy. And, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Crabtree was too. But this is our situation now, and this is the bed that we made. Now we got to lay down in it. Frisky's called in. Please, pillagers, don't show up at that address. Don't call that number. It's for your health. By the way, that information completely inaccurate.
Bogus.
Hate to spoil the surprise for you, but if you do go to that address, this can be real awkward, right? All right, that's a lot of calls this week. IR Johnny, he wants us to talk offense. We're going to get into the draft after free agency dies down, which, I mean, it likely kind of has. We got about one more week. until it goes quiet again, and then we hit the draft, and there'll be that second wave of free agency after the draft. There'll be more cuts and stuff. So I got laughed at last year when I said that, but now I'm hearing second wave of free agency a lot more this offseason.
Right.
So
It's true.
It's a thing.
It's true. It's a real thing.
So we will get into that. We were just talking during the break that actually devoting maybe a whole segment to breaking down this running back class might be a good idea. I know a lot of the other podcasts have covered the draft already. That's good, cool for them. I wanted to wait till after combine, after free agency, see what our needs are, what remains.
Yeah.
You know, who falls, who goes up, who goes down. I mean, look at the story of Maurice Hurst. You know what I'm saying? Like, now he's cleared. Now he's checked out. Maybe he's back in the first round again. So things constantly changing in the NFL offseason. So we wanted to hold off on that, do something a little bit more timely. And we grinded it out through those slow weeks. And here we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not going to let you down, Pillagers.
We're going to do our homework, man.
That's it.
We're going to do our homework. That's what we're trying to do.
Jay's going to come back with the draft Bible again. It's going to be good. But yes, just to answer one of your questions, Calvin Ridley, he's a real deal. Definitely the best wide receiver talent in this draft, and we'll be back to tell you why. I don't think Ridley's a target for us, but if Michaels is right and we do switch it up and go offense in the first round and Ridley's there, that's a slam dunk, no-brainer pick.
Yeah.
I'm going to pass on Barkley. Looking at his numbers after contact, at or behind the line of scrimmage, just doo-doo. You're talking about like 0.26 yards after contact, where you got a guy like Penny, who I think is averaging like 2.5 or plus. A few of those other guys better after contact. And I'm going to pass on Barkley, man. I think he's a home run hitter when the hole is there, when the home run is there. You know, when the pitcher grooves one down the middle of the plate, that's a home run. But he's not the guy that's going to dig out the curveball and send it over the fence. That's what I think.
It's a hot take right there, fellas.
Hot take. Saquon Barkley, I'm not going to go full bust, but I don't think he's the guy that you think he is.
Okay. All right.
That's where I'm at on that. Early draft, hot take.
Hot take.
Hot. Raider WAP. Crickets, bro. Crickets, we've signed more players than anybody else in the NFL.
It's true.
You're telling me that...
it's not crickets.
You're telling me the lamer doesn't get you excited? Come on, dude. There's no lamer pick than lamer. Again, I hear you, Raider WAP. Nothing real splashy, but man, I feel your pain. Enjoy your beer. You know, definitely enjoy your beer.
Yeah, definitely. Always enjoy your beer.
Hopefully, it's a belching beaver.
Yeah.
I don't know what you expect Reggie to do with a pocket full of lint. I mean, I don't know if you've ever done that exercise where you get a paper clip and you got to go around the room and try to trade up to a better thing. I think we've done a little bit of that already in this offseason. We got, like we said, we got 2 picks in the 5th round now.
Yeah, we have.
So
we're bartering here, man. We're doing the old school barter system.
So WAP, we appreciate you, man. Love you. Great follow on Twitter. Lots of interaction on there, but eat a Snickers, dog. You're not yourself when you're hungry. Okay. And then your call lost connection there. Might be time to upgrade your service. I don't know, but I'll get as much of your call on there as possible. I haven't edited the stuff yet, so I don't want it to sound like I'm slamming you, WAP. I'm just saying, like, hang in there, bud.
Yeah.
You know?
We appreciate your call, man.
We do. Maybe.
So we're trying to say at the end of it all, we appreciate your call, man.
Try the Wi-Fi call function. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying. Ice Cold Honky. Yeah. Big call there.
This is a brave soul.
A first hate call.
Yeah.
Felt like a non-Raider take.
Yeah.
We're going to get to you later, bud. I know who you are. Lastly, Raider in England, thank you. Thank you for this call. Raider fans out here, we need to hear this. I don't know that it convinces everybody. It doesn't fully convince me because it sucks losing a home game, especially us Bay Area natives or Bay Area residents. We're about to lose all of our home games.
Exactly.
For the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Damn, that's fucking hurts to say that.
Yeah.
But again, I think I might have said this before. When I hear you guys from England call in and say you're going to make it as much of a home game as possible, and you even said, it's not the same as Oakland. Thank you for saying that too. There's some folks in Vegas that probably need to be saying that too.
Right.
That's another hot take because the PSL prices just came out today.
Woo! Woo!
Talk about pricing folks out. $75,000 to get a parking pass.
Woo!
With your PSL. Too steep for me, man. I don't know. I'm going to go to one game that first
Pocket
season.
hurts right now, man. My pocket hurts.
Get that pocket ache. But no, it's cool for you guys to hear. I know there's a large contingency of Raider fans in England. I think that's pretty damn cool for you guys to go out and see a game right there. And your story, about growing up a Raider fan in England and talking about your favorite player, that's cool. Those personal kind of stories is a lot of what I imagined on this podcast when we first started. I wanted to have a lot of fans on, and we're going to get you guys on eventually here. But man, go out there and enjoy it, man. Your perspective makes this a little bit more palatable, and I think that's pretty cool. I personally, as a fan, would like to go check out a game in England too, just because I've been to London once in my life. I was young. I thought it was badass, dude. If I were to travel outside of the U.S. anywhere again, London's definitely on my short list. Cool ass place.
I haven't been, man. So
yeah,
I'm gonna take your word for it.
You
I
dig
definitely
it.
would love to visit.
As a beer
some places
drinker,
like that. Oh hell yeah,
you'd love it.
Oh hell yeah,
slug some beers, visit some castles, play some pool. It's cool out there, dude. It's really cool.
right up my alley, man.
It is, yeah. I think you dig it. And if we could check out a Raider game there too, that'd be a definite bonus. But yeah, man, Raider in England. Dave, thank you, and again, appreciate your listening. Thanks for the high marks and the great review on the podcast. That we don't get paid to do this. That's as much of a paycheck as we get as those reviews. So
that's our payday.
And let me backtrack because I'm looking at my notes here and I for some reason passed over it. Juice, man, how can I forget Juice? Juice has been in the studio once before. Yeah. Cool ass dude.
Our first and only studio audience member.
Yeah, and he'll be back again. Juice has a flag for us. He wants us to hang up for when we do the video. We need that. We need some more Raider gear. Currently, all my Raider gear is not in this room. Sorry to disappoint. There's a lot of memorabilia in this house. It's not here. We need to get that stuff up here.
Got to migrate.
It needs to migrate. So we'll work on that. But thanks for sharing your personal story as well, talking about your child and stuff, and then kind of relating that to the incoming Gruden season.
Yeah,
that's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah.
We're all excited, and I appreciate your take about really kind of just pumping the brakes and waiting to see, because everyone's telling us what to expect, and I don't really think it is going to be what we think it's going to be.
Right.
You know, Gruden laid out that 1998 take. That was just a comment, and the media's picked it up, and they've run with it. And that's what the media does. They blow things out of proportion.
I think it's a hot take from Gruden as well. Right?
Yeah.
Just kind of trying to spark some stuff up.
Right.
And he's been in the media for how many years now? You got to figure he's got a little, okay, I'm going to give you guys some tidbits. Get you guys talking.
Yeah, a little bit of a troll maybe there.
Yeah.
But I also think there's truth to it. I think like his approach to the game is unwavering. I mean, watching film is never going to fail you ever. And he's a film junkie. So I think that's more or less what he means. He's just, I'm not going to let analytics determine everything that I do. I'm going to let my eyeballs determine it because he's one of the best film watchers in the history of the game, maybe.
There you go.
And the guy's amassed a freaking vault full of film. The guy's like a junkie. So, you know, take those words with a grain of salt. I think it's being blown out of proportion. The guy has not lost touch with the game. There's going to be some new wrinkles. Mm-hmm. Trust me. I feel like a lot of him coming back into the NFL is him eager to kind of get his hands on some of these high-tech offenses and see what he can do with it.
Right.
So, you know, versatility, that's the theme right now in these free agency signings on offense and defense. So we're going to get into that right now.
Yeah.
So I told you guys Kane would be joining us this week. Bit of a miscommunication between us and Kane. Didn't realize he had plans tonight. So and we are running late, to be honest.
Yeah.
We kind of had to mix things up a little bit because of our guest, East Coast time zone. We had to shuffle some things around. So, and I've been really busy. I'm back at work, coming off of vacation. So, anyways, we apologize for that. We want to have Kane on, but he will be joining us next week. He'll come back, but maybe somewhat of a blessing in disguise just because we have so much to discuss. And I'm not saying that we don't miss Kane. We do. It would be nice to have him part of this conversation.
Definitely.
But
Definitely.
With so much going on in this second segment, you know, maybe it helps us out a little bit. I don't know. Don't take that the wrong way. That's not. Maybe I shouldn't even say it like that. You get what I'm saying.
Hey, this is off the top of the dome.
Okay? To be honest, maybe not, because we could probably use Kane here to break this up a little bit and give his perspective. So that'll be missed. But free agency's not over, so we'll circle back next week.
Oh yeah, most definitely. We will get the hot takes.
Yeah.
From Kane.
So
best believe.
Definitely missing out on that. But Let's get into it, man. So Jordy Nelson is now a Raider.
Yes, he is.
Let's look at the positives here. People want to say he's old and he's not fast. And I was watching tape from last year. He's got pretty good open field speed. Mm-hmm. The guy can break away in the open field. He's not the instant speed right off the line.
He's not a blazer, man. He came in running a 4.5, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's what he was drafted as. He was drafted running a 4.5 in the 40. So he's not just like burner down the field.
Yeah.
But he can run. He can move.
Yeah.
He's got some smarts.
When he gets up to speed, he can break away.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to say. He's more of a muscle car. He might spin his wheels at the line, but once he gets up there in the third gear, fourth gear, watch out. And it's all on tape from last year, and he was on a radio station that shall not be mentioned on this show earlier this week. And I enjoyed his interview. He was talking a lot about age. He's 32 years old right now. I think he's going to be 33 when the season starts. Or it might be 33 now. But, he's talking about that, a lot of the knocks on his age. And he's saying, in the modern era, the athlete's lifespan is extended just by, the workout routines they have, the technology available to them, the nutrition information available to them. And this sounds like a guy that's taking really good care of himself. And, like he even said it himself, the production was there last year. My numbers were down, but I didn't get the numbers that I had the year before. We had Rodgers was out. Me and him have chemistry. Yep. And, Hundley found chemistry with the new guy. Nothing wrong with that. It's just the way that the cards kind of fell on the table. And now he's a Raider. He's excited to be a Raider. One thing for sure is he's got sure hands. So you want to compare to Crabtree. In 50 receptions last year, Crabtree had 5 drops. Jordy had 1. So he's one of the best wide receivers when plays break down. We could have used that last year.
Yeah, we could have used that.
So we need that. We need that. We need a guy on the other side that can improvise alongside Derek Carr. Yeah. We've seen Derek Carr be really good at that, and we've seen him panic. Last year, there was a lot of panic. So having Jordy there maybe is somewhat of a safety blanket for him now, and I think he comes in and he's a good mentor for Cooper, like I had already mentioned. The rumor is that he's the upgrade in the locker room. We've already talked about that. I'm not going to get into that. Key word there is rumor.
Rumors. How do rumors get started?
Yeah. Are you excited about the Jordy Nelson acquisition?
I'm excited about it. As was mentioned earlier, I was more excited with the idea of having Cooper and Crabtree on the outside and Jordy as a slot receiver. Yeah. I thought that would have been
awesome.
Great receiver tandem, right? But
Trio,
right?
Yeah.
But trifecta. But unfortunately, that's not the case.
No.
So we just got to look at things from the most positive side that we can.
Yeah.
We have a veteran receiver with sure hands. Like you said, can teach people the game, teach some of the other receivers that we have on the team or that we have yet to sign, get them schooled up. And just stay positive, y'all. Stay positive.
I don't think the third wide receiver is on this team yet.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
I think the ship has sailed on Seth Roberts.
Yeah.
Well,
we weren't going to cut him. I know a lot of you guys want him cut. You want him out, but we're not going to eat $2 million to drop Seth Roberts. It's just not going to happen. And we're in the business of saving money this year, and we can't absorb that. It doesn't sound like much in terms of NFL salaries, but we can't.
Yeah.
So, Rashaan Melvin, one of my favorite signings, probably one of my 2 favorite signings right now. Career underdog coming into Oakland with a big chip on his shoulder, 6'2", 195 pounds, big dude, man corner, plays in a 4-3, absolutely perfect fit for Paul Guenther's scheme.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this acquisition was. This was a scheme fit. If you look at film, he does a really good job of attacking receivers' hands. He goes right after it, and it shows up in the stat sheet. What did he have last year? How many breakups did he have last year?
I want to say he had 11 or 13 breakups, pass breakups, pass defenses, and he had about 3-4 interceptions.
Yeah. I read 13 and 4, so we'll just lean towards the bigger number.
Okay.
Because it sounds good. He can play press. He can also play off the ball. Good anticipation. Plays fearless. Great tackler for a cornerback. I'm making him sound a lot better than he actually is. I'm not saying he's all pro corner. I don't want to. Kenny was really talking him up. What happened? Look, these are his good points. Okay, he can defend the run. He's got some problems though. He doesn't turn his head as often as he should. Maybe if he did, he'd have even more picks, but I'll take the 4 over what we had last year. We had no corner with more than 1.
Right.
Right? So,
Right. Remember, we didn't have an interception through how many weeks? We didn't get our first interception as a
7?
defense until the Kansas City Chiefs game on Thursday night.
Yeah, it was like week 7.
And that was Navarro Bowman.
Yeah, it was Navarro Bowman laying on his back, no doubt. But he does have problem getting his head to turn around. His footwork needs a little bit more improvement. Sometimes planning with the wrong foot, getting in the wrong position, and probably leads to getting turned around too. So Melvin, though, all said, not a perfect signing, but a very physical guy, a guy that's going to come to work and hustle. And like I said, he's got a big chip on his shoulder. He's been gunning for a top spot for a while. He's likely not the number 1 corner in Oakland if everything works out with Conley, but he's going to be on the field every single damn play on defense. He's, in the starting cornerback tandem. And that's basically where he left off in Indianapolis. Yep. Didn't get a shot, before that, and got one with the Colts and didn't stick around there. Didn't work out for him. He thought it would.
But the top side of this is he's coming off of arguably his best season, the best season he's ever had. Right. So it tells you that he's improving, he's getting better, and who knows? Maybe he looks a little bit different in a positive way in the silver and black.
I don't think he's peaked yet. He's too young for that. And getting a guy on the rise like that for cheap, good. 1-year contract right now, I believe. Don't panic on that. I don't want to think he's a stopgap unless we're drafting his replacement this year, and that's a possibility.
Right.
But much like Crabtree did, he can get extension mid-year and be here for a couple more after that. So
true.
We'll see. I like the Melvin signing. Next is Tyre Whitehead.
Yes.
Right? Had to look up the pronunciation on that. Another guy that I really liked. I think this is another low-key, great quality signing. I think this guy's going to come in and be a solid starter for us. He's a little bit of a security blanket for Bowman, too, because he can play in the middle. I see him as an outside linebacker right now in this scheme, but he can play the middle if he has to.
Yes.
He's not the best coverage linebacker out there, but he can cover. A pretty athletic interception last year. You can go look that up. It's pretty much his highlight reel from last season was that interception, and then a bunch of quality tackles. He can set the edge. I think the biggest thing that jumps out for me on Whitehead is he's not fooled easily. He doesn't get juked out. He doesn't get juked out by the running back or the quarterback. He'll stay with his man. He shoots the right gap, and he does pretty good job shedding blocks. Again, I'm making these guys sound better than they are because I'm focusing on their strengths mostly.
Yes.
But, I mean, it all kind of, again, shows up in the stats sheet. Multiple 100-plus tackle seasons.
200-plus
tackle seasons. Do you have it right there?
Back-to-back, yes. 2016, he tallied 132. And last season, he tallied 110.
Dang.
So, that's a lot of tackles, man.
Got a regular Kirk Morrison on our hands.
Right?
Sounds like.
Right?
Maybe.
But we need that. We need that because, I don't know, for many years, our leading tackler was our safety.
Yes.
If you don't remember that. And that tells you one thing. You're not making tackles early and at the line.
Yeah.
You're making them late.
When your third-level defender is leading in tackles.
Right.
No bueno.
Right. So we need a guy. We need linebackers. We need our linebackers to be the leading tacklers on this defense.
I want to see maybe 2 picks last year and 4 fumble recoveries.
He had 1 pick last year.
1 pick.
1 pick last year, 1 sack.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many fumble recoveries? You got that?
I don't have that.
I think it's 3 or 4. You got a nose for the ball. That's for damn sure. If the ball's there, so is Whitehead. And that's what we need. We need a guy leading the rest of this defense, gang tackling, and Whitehead's the type of guy. Total lunch pail type player. Coming out of Detroit, blue-collar town. Coming to Oakland, blue-collar town. I like it. It seems like a real good fit. Again, played in a 4-3. Perfect fit for the Gunther scheme.
Yep.
It's making sense now, guys. Making a lot of sense. The next signing I liked, I was excited when we got him. We had Olawale at the time when we signed him, so I was super excited. But I knew that the other shoe was soon to drop, and that's Keith Smith coming out of Dallas. And we talked about this in the previous segment. I felt like finesse this move a little bit. But Keith definitely more stout than Olawale. 6'1", listed at anywhere between 229, 240, depending on what website you're on.
Right.
We'll just take that right in the middle, around 234 and a half.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah?
I like that. Let's guesstimate. Right in the middle.
We'll take
smack dab in the middle.
We'll take the median. Keith Smith, primarily a blocking fullback,
yes,
but he can run the ball. Violent runner, physical runner, big guy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Elite special teamer.
Elite special teamer, and I think that's the big key for him. I think why they're so big on him, aside from the fact that we need. I'm thinking that Gruden wants a blocking fullback in his scheme, right, to free up, beast mode and the other backs.
Yeah.
But we also need to shore up that special teams, man. Yeah, I think
time.
A few times you mentioned this season and even in past seasons that we needed to have big games and important, like good games from our special teams.
Yeah.
We've lost games with our special teams.
We have.
So if we can get more people to solidify the special teams unit, be it on kickoffs, kickoff returns, punt returns, whatever it may be, and then add a guy that's going to come out and block his ass off and free and open up some holes. I think that's a plus. That's a plus.
In special teams, a lot of people kind of take it for granted. It's the time they get up and go grab a beer, go take a leak. These punts, these kickoffs and whatnot. But it's an important part of the game. It really comes into effect. I see it in divisional games and definitely sloppy weather games.
Yep.
JFB had a call actually during the season where he had actually predicted that special teams was going to make a difference in that game, and it didn't. But the nature of his take, what I thought was appropriate, and I'm kind of borrowing from that now, is you get into these kind of rough weather games, and special teams is a big deal. So getting a guy like Whitehead like Smith to be a gunner on that is great. And it's definitely a Gruden staple, having your fullback that can also participate on special teams. And we had a guy not too long ago that was that for us as well. Fullback by the name of, wasn't Reese. We'll circle back to that. He was a special teams captain for us, and I'm blanking on his name right now.
You got me. I can't. I'm blanking on it too.
We'll get it. But yeah.
The fans are mad right now.
The fans are mad.
Jesus Christ. Where's the fact checking?
We don't fact check. No, that's another podcast entirely. But anyways, I don't want to dwell on that. So Keith Smith, he's kind of more of a hard-nosed fullback, more of your traditional fullback.
Yes.
I like Olawale too. Fast guy, very versatile, can catch the ball, can run the ball. Pretty good for deception, I thought. But he's gone now. So, we weren't going to carry two fullbacks on the roster.
Right.
Just doesn't make sense, right?
And you got to look at past history, okay, with Gruden. We had John Ritchie and Zach Crockett as fullbacks at one point, and they were big bruising fullbacks, right? Zach Crockett was a goal line
huge
master, right?
Yeah.
John Ritchie was a big blocking. Remember, the image of John Ritchie was his forehead constantly bleeding down from his head because he had those two horns on his forehead.
Love that.
Remember?
I love
just
that.
Blood dripping. It was like the first minute of the first quarter, and this guy's already dripping blood down his face, right? Because he's a big, beefy fullback that was out there just laying the wood, right? That's the kind of fullback that Gruden likes. So that's what we're expecting from, Keith.
That's it. I don't know much about his catching ability, but we'll get to see because we know that he's going to be involved. Well, the fullback is usually involved in Gruden's scheme, but go back to the callers. We don't know what Gruden's scheme is. We think we know what his scheme is.
Right.
It's not going to be 1999 John Gruden. I'll tell you that. Not all of it, at the very least. Marcus Gilchrist signed safety coming out of New York. Is that right? The Jets.
Texans.
Sorry, my bad. Former Charger, however.
Yes.
Former divisional rival. Likely starter alongside Joseph for the money they signed him for. It looks like he's going to start alongside Joseph. But I'd mentioned during the segment with Stephen Michaels that wouldn't be shocked to see or don't rule out Obi being your nickelback. Well, don't rule out Gilchrist being your nickelback either because this is a guy that's played every position in the secondary.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to talk up Gilchrist because there really isn't a whole lot to talk up here. I'm not going to say he's a bad player. He's just a very middle of the road, kind of a solid little guy. You're going to plug him in. Not every player on the field is going to make a difference for you, right?
Right, exactly. Sometimes you just need to fill a hole.
Yeah.
Fill a hole with a decent player, somebody that's not going to kill you.
And it smells like Nate Allen to me.
Yeah.
Hopefully a little bit better.
Hopefully not as injury prone.
No, yeah, for sure. Definitely that. What did you say? Jack of all trades?
Jack of all trades, master of none. That's what it's all about. That's truth, man. There's no truer statement than that.
Giacomini, We already said it. Big body, camp guy,
Yeah.
cable dude. Don't expect much out of him. If he's starting right tackle this year, that's a problem. Right?
I'll let that take stand, man. I'm not even gonna say anything. Just let that take stand.
He looks like,
I hope he proves us wrong. I hope he listens to the podcast. Is like, what?
yeah. Come at me, bro.
Yeah. He's a big dude.
They look like they just signed you out of the pizza
6'7".
parlor.
I think he's 6'7", man.
6'7"?
I think he's 6'7".
Look that up.
I'm gonna look it up.
I'm
right now.
coming back to you in a minute here.
I'm looking it up.
Doug Martin, the muscle hamster, the Duggernaut, apparently is his other nickname. I've literally never heard anybody call you the Duggernaut, Doug. I kind of feel like Doug made that up for himself and linked it to a website. And he's like, yeah, they call me the Duggernaut. No, they don't. That's a really bad nickname, by the way. The muscle hamster is much cooler, although it does sound a little bit not safe for work, to be honest with you. The muscle do you got a muscle hamster over there? Are you smuggling a muscle hamster? Okay, good answer. Bad question. Good answer. Oh, man, I'm going places I shouldn't go right now. Anyways, Doug Martin struggled repeatedly in Tampa Bay after starting his career with 2 Pro Bowl appearances. Pretty rough. Not too long ago in 2015, he ran for 1,400 yards. Nice little season there, Doug. But since then, injury-prone, shortened season, busted for performance-enhancing drugs.
Mm-hmm.
It's been all bad, Doug Martin. You blamed blocking on your lack of performance. Well, maybe you didn't, but a lot of people did. And when you look at your backups averaging 4 yards a carry and you're averaging under 3 yards a carry, I got to call bullshit. It's on you, Doug. Something's got to give there. Now, I think Steven nailed it when he said Trent Richardson. He's not the only person that said that. I've heard, Doug being compared to Trent before.
Mm-hmm.
And not guaranteed to be featured back in this system alongside Marshawn Lynch. I really don't think that I don't think we're banking on Doug Martin.
I don't think we're banking on Doug Martin. I think like Stephen Michael said, he said, I think they're kicking the tires on this guy and seeing if maybe they get lucky. Maybe he works out. Maybe he shows something. Maybe there's something still left in there.
Yeah.
From those 1,400-yard seasons. But if not, just like Trent Richardson, he won't be part of the plan.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, your boy is 6'7", 318 pounds.
So he is a big guy.
He's a big boy.
So him and Ware are both 6'7". Wow. You got to be able to do something with that. Do you remember Langston Walker?
Yes, I do.
He was huge too.
Yeah.
Didn't really do much.
Didn't pan out.
No. I don't know.
It ain't always about size.
That's what she said. No, she never said that. Oh, boy. The other free agent we signed that we briefly mentioned was Lee Smith. We signed our own guy. I like him, man. I'm a low-key big Lee Smith fan. Yeah. I think he does his job well. And he's not a burner. He's not going to beat you off the line. But you know what? How often do you see Lee Smith dropping balls?
Never.
Right?
If you throw him the ball, he usually catches it. And that's, he's got sneaky good hands, right?
Sneaky good.
He's sneaky good hands because you see him and you're like, he's a big bruiser. He's here to just beat people up.
Yeah.
He's just an extra lineman, right? And then he gets out in the pass lane and then people forget about him. And then before you know it, he has a touchdown.
Very sneaky.
Sneaky hands.
Do not underestimate my sneakiness. So yeah, that's pretty much our free agent roundup right now.
Yes.
And sorry we had to try to cram a lot into that, so maybe not as in depth as you would have liked if we broke it into half. But it is what it is, Raider Nation.
Yeah.
We got plenty of time to talk about these guys.
Yeah.
And there'll be more.
And others.
Yeah, and these stories will develop as we move into camp and things start to play out. So we will revisit this.
And hopefully by the next time that we get back on air, we have some more free agent signings.
Yeah.
And maybe one of them's Bowman, and we can go in depth in that too. Because
sure,
I think we're all on the same page about bringing him back.
Yeah, I'd like to see Bowman back for at least this 1 year. But yeah, I mean, really, I'm missing Kane's takes here. I know he's got some strong feelings about some of these guys. I really want to hear what he has to say. So we will be resetting this next week in Kane's corner somewhat, depending on what happens between now and then.
Yeah.
But I still want to hear. I want to know what's Kane's favorite pick
Signing.
so far.
Yeah.
In fact, I put it out to you guys. Who's your favorite free agent acquisition? That was the question for the Collins this week, and everybody came in hot and bothered about it. 303 had his
damn shame
takes, and we had some no favorites. I didn't hear one damn favorite mentioned in any of those calls. Keep calling in, but damn it, when I ask you something, I want a freaking answer.
Right?
Look at me, man.
You throwing out those questions for no reason.
Apparently, it's just a big free for all now. I'm playing, guys. I'm playing. That's a sarcasm font you hear in my voice. It's time for I See You.
I see you.
So we had a caller during the break. Ice cold honky. Yeah.
We see you, honky.
See you. So, I was like, man, what is this? It's our first hate call, but this kind of feels like a joke. He didn't mention Che. He mentioned J-Rob,
right?
Who's one of the writers on our site and frequent commenters. So now I'm thinking maybe this guy is one of our commenters.
Right.
He's got a southern accent. Who could this be? Then I checked out the number. I was like, well, God damn it, it's my cousin. It's my goddamn cousin. It's my younger cousin. And it was a joke. Cousins, I don't know if you'd call him a Raider hater. Grew up an Oilers fan.
Okay.
Big Warren Moon guy when we were kids.
Okay.
I was with it. I was always like, Oilers was sort of one of those side teams I like to watch. I liked the uniforms. I liked Warren Moon. I liked a lot of their players. I thought they were a cool team, Yeah. When you're a kid, you're a fan, but you're not as hard-lined as you are when you're an adult. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're like, oh, it's cool. You'll watch, you do weird things as a kid. So I was always a Raiders fan, but I always thought the Oilers were kind of cool. Kenny Stabler played for the Oilers too. So
true. This is true.
You had some Raiders crossover there with the Oilers, but I just thought they were a cool team. And still kind of miss their uniform in the NFL now. We got the Texans, but we got the Titans, but whatever. The Flaming Thumbtacks, which, by the way, they're changing their logo. They will no longer be the Flaming Thumbtacks. Thought I'd throw that out there. But back to my cousin. I'm not letting you get away. I think this call was payback for me and your brother throwing you down the stairs when we were kids. And I know you're visiting California this summer. I'm going to throw your ass down the stairs again. I don't care that you're like 3 inches taller than me now and probably marginally stronger than I am and a much better athlete. Your ass is going down those stairs when I see you. But for real, it was a funny call. You had me shook for a minute. I was like, Shay came in.
When you played it for me, I was like, "Is this for real right now?
Are we
about to get angry right now on the air?"
It was hella quiet. Shay was just like, "Oh, for real? Is this happening? I thought we were doing well." But not a big Raiders fan, but listens to the show, supports the show, likes the show, and you should.
Yeah.
You're my blood, homie.
Yeah.
You're my blood.
That's right.
Family supports family.
That's right.
And I know your brother's listening to this too, and he's wringing his hands waiting to throw your ass down those stairs.
Maybe you double team him like you used to.
But
you still get him down those stairs.
We're gonna have to, bro. My cousin's an athletic guy. I'm not trying to sell him short. I'm in better shape than I was, but come on, I know my limitations. If my other cousin can't be here, I got you, Che.
There you go.
So
I'll just pop out the woodworks.
You're down to ride, right?
I'm always down to ride.
Okay.
Come on now.
That's
what kind
right.
of question is that?
Shots fired. I'm not going to drop your name on here I'm just not going to do that. We just refer to you as Ice Cold Honky from now on.
Honky?
But it's pretty funny. Really good conversation with you today. Found out he doesn't follow the NFL anymore. Big college fan. Actually need to get this guy on here as like an independent scout because the dude was breaking it down for me today.
There you go.
Schooling us up. So,
there you go.
Not a big name guest, but a big brain guest.
There you go.
And that's just as important, right?
Always.
So I think we're going to have Cuz on here, and we'll bring him on as Ice Cold Honky.
Some intel on the college players.
And by the way, you're wrong about the offensive line take. It's garbage. Don't read the tabloids, man. If you're not going to watch the NFL, don't read the tabloids. Stop it. Time to do the shout-outs.
Shout-outs!
I feel like we've been in this room all day.
I think you've been in this room all day. You definitely feel like you've been in this room all day.
I got up here about 5:30 to 11:30 right now.
Yeah.
So
it's been a while.
Let's do the damn thing.
Let's do it.
Shout-outs. Shout-out to Oakland Raider UK, Phil Jr., Titan Clint. You got to say that very carefully. Big J Dub 72. Shout out to Chris, Charles Mitchell, Augie Bo, most known unknown, and Dr. Brock Ocean Jr. on Twitter. That's a very official sounding name, by the way. Dr. Brock Ocean Jr. Sounds like he's going to give you a physical and drop the hottest mixtape of the season. Shout out to my cousin. Hey, stay strong. We all go through it, brother. We're here for you. Shout out to Rezo. You know who you are. Good to see you today, fam. Shout out to Squanky Loner, WKCLC, Kandari Carr. That's a weird name. iRaiders and Deathly Hollows on Reddit. Also, big shout out to Vower Oner out there on Reddit and Behos on Reddit. You guys are always listening. I appreciate it. Shout out to Ronan, 559, Idaho Raider fan, and our boy Willie 91137. I don't know what's up with all the numbers. Our boy Willie's like, he's got to be at least, I think he's like almost 80, maybe 80 years old. He uses voice to text to comment on the blog.
Wow.
And he's on there every single day, all day.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's commitment to excellence.
To be fair, he's got more time than you do, Che. Right?
True.
At this point, Willie's got
It's
nothing
true.
but time.
This is true.
Right?
This is true.
So we appreciate
Props
you, Willie.
to you, Willie.
Yeah, I don't think I've shouted you out before, but you definitely deserve that. Shout out to Breaking Black, Paper Tiger. Shout out to Chase, man. We need to get Chase back on here real soon.
Yeah.
Chase doing big things. If you listen to the show, but you don't go to the blog, go over to pillagingJustForFun.com, pj4f.com right now. And this will be the latest post of the podcast, but go back to the post previous to that. Chase has been doing a series on the most outstanding, or what is it, the most exciting plays of the 2017 season.
I like it.
Believe it or not, we're on part 3. A lot of people didn't think he was going to get past part 1. Yeah.
We're talking about exciting plays, right?
You said part 3?
Huh?
And there's more than one play in each part?
What?
Yes. Exciting. And these are plays of 25 yards or more to make it even more mind-boggling for you. And he's only halfway through the season.
Wow.
This is getting really weird, isn't it?
It's very weird.
People listening right now thinking, did I just have a stroke? They go back and check last season's win-loss record. Okay, yeah, no, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
You know, go read it. It'll make you at least feel a little bit better.
Right.
You know, something to look forward to.
We need something to smile about.
And also, you know what? This is sort of the subtext to all of it. It kind of goes to show what highlight reels can do for you.
Right.
So keep that in mind, folks, when you're out there doing your little home scouting on these draft picks. I advise you don't look at the highlight reels.
Nope.
Search for game clips.
Search for full games.
Search for full games.
Search for full games, man. That's what I do.
Yeah.
That's the only way that you're going to actually see the reel.
Oh,
look at highlights.
You get juiced real quick on somebody.
Oh, this guy is amazing.
Yeah.
Draft him in the first round.
Vita Vea dominate every offensive lineman. Nah. Sorry, bro. It's not the case. Anyways, shout out to Chase. Shout out to Rating Texas. And till death do us part on pj4f.com. We appreciate all you guys.
Yes.
What's up, Che, before we get out of here? What you got, man?
Hey, man. I just shout out everybody, man. Shout out the nation.
Shout out to Raider Nation.
Shout out to the nation, man.
Shout out to our guest, Stephen Michaels. For
Shout
coming
out to Stephen Michaels, man. Came with the heat. You know. Thank you for the ratings.
Yeah, thanks for the ratings, Michaels. Appreciate that.
But yeah, man. It was good to be back.
Yeah.
It's good to be back.
Yeah. It is good.
Sneaky, that little sneaky episode we got in there.
Yeah.
A little week off. We snuck out. We snuck out on you guys. Sorry.
Well, we're back. We're back for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
I am starting a new job soon.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't change things. I'll be getting here probably closer to the same time as you get here, though. So we may be going on later, but that doesn't affect you guys.
Just a little, just affects us.
Yeah.
Longer time in the studio.
I am going to take a little time off before I start that job. We're going to work out the kinks on the video stuff. So we'll have that up and running probably in just a few weeks here.
Woo!
So you look forward to that. I want to get that taken care of before we start the new job. And so we can come in here, get live on the air, and you guys can actually watch our beautiful faces do the show for you.
Or just be like, nah, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got a face.
A second thought.
Got a face for radio and a voice for television. My
there
mom
you go.
always said. Yeah.
Man, your mom said that to you?
No.
I was going to say, damn.
My mom's pretty damn cool, actually. Shout out to Mom.
Mom's cold.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So, yeah, man, that's it for this week's show. Make sure you tune in every week. iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, hell, Spotify, YouTube, Spreaker,
yeah. And the Pillaging app.
There it is.
Y'all, go get that on iOS.
Someone's like, what's the name of it? I said, it's the Pillaging app. Yeah, but what's the name of it? It's the Pillaging app. That's the name of it.
That is the name. The Pillaging app.
Yeah.
Go get it. It's on iTunes. It's in the Apple Store. And soon, hopefully soon, Google.
Yeah. It'll be on the Google Play Store very soon. Give it a couple weeks. Android Marketplace. I'm an Android user. Yeah. I like it. I'm not
wrong with that. I ain't judging you.
Actually, I have both phones.
Just don't judge me.
An Android phone.
The one thing I hate about some Android users, they always got to be super judgmental about if you're not an Android user.
It goes both
it's like,
ways.
Really? I don't really care. You can use whatever you want. I'm just using this.
I broke up with a girl over an Android iPhone argument. I won't say I broke up with her, but like it just sort of ended there.
You just despise each other that much after it?
I don't know how we got there, man. I was like, we need both technologies to push technology forward.
Damn you, Apple and Google.
Yeah.
See what you're doing to society. You're breaking people up, man.
I don't know. But I do know from our stats, a lot of our listeners are on iTunes, so a lot of iPhones out there. So no hate, man. No hate.
No hate.
I use both. It's a matter of preference. But anyways, that's it for this week's show. Again, check out the Pillaging app. You find everything you need right there inside the app. You never ask me again, Kenny, where do I listen to the show? On your phone with the Pillaging app. That's where it is. And we'll be coming at you again next week.
Yes, we will.
I don't know who the guest is next week. I got it on my phone here somewhere. And what else we want to say? Oh, yeah. Go over to pj4f.com/shop. Get yourself a nice, crispy Pillaging t-shirt.
Yes.
We need to get a new design
jersey
in there soon.
Just off a jersey.
You know who's coming on next week?
Just off a jersey also.
Maurice Moton from Bleacher Report.
There you go.
Next week. Unless he cancels on us, which he might because he's very busy.
Everyone's busy, man.
Yeah.
Can't fault them.
Can't.
We just appreciate them for taking the time.
If you weren't busy, I wouldn't want you on the show.
Exactly, right?
So.
Exactly. We waited all season for Lincoln to come on. Are we mad? Nope. Very happy, as a matter of fact.
Well, I'm about to get busy on this brisket.
Oh, yeah, that brisket's still sitting there.
Still chilling.
It's got another 2 pounds to go.
Yeah, let's handle it. Anyways, we're out here, folks. That's it, and we'll see you on the other side. We out here.
Peace.
Go Raiders.
Touchdown, Raiders! Like a freight train coming, you're blowing the town. Like a diesel motor, you never shut down.